Ansary here for April 18th in the year 2024. America is under attack, ladies and gentlemen, and this by now you should know unless you have been living under a friggin' rock. Something's going down, something is rotten in Denmark, but before we go too deep down that rabbit hole, just a couple things for you to be aware of. The FAA was hacked in the last year, a little bit longer than that. We've also seen an increase in stories regarding the grid coming under attack in different states in America. Prior to this, we've seen other jurisdictions in America come under attack. Their 9/11 systems going down, library systems, other things. This may be happening also in various places in Europe in which Russia has enemies. And then, of course, we have people in the American alternative media that you think would really be pro-America, but every time this discussion about EMP and whatnot comes up, they say Russia's innocent, it's all a false flag. Unless they're being told by Trump and others that it is a legitimate Islamic terror attack. Now let's talk about that. They are manufacturing this perception right now in America that people are saying in droves, D to America. And when I spell it with an A so I don't flag the system and draw people that believe in that nonsense to me. At present, I am not overtly using any type of clickbait to draw in the audience. The channel is now monetized. There are no signs of ads that I'm aware of. So YouTube continues to screw me. Don't screw me, YouTube. Don't you ever screw me. To quote Scarface. However, YouTube has screwed me. YouTube has screwed you. And your comments, all your comments for those that are new viewers, your comments have been deleted by YouTube. That is not the sign of a loving organization. YouTube is controlled by them, but who are they really? They are not limited to America. Okay, now it's time to reveal new information to you in this long form video podcast. This is the Alex Ansary Show. A new format, long-winded, without a bunch of tags, with a break here and there about every 30 minutes, so you can play it, take a break, allow it to continue to play long enough time to go smoke outside if you can't smoke inside, if you like to be lit while listening to me, enough time to go to the bathroom, okay, without you worrying about, and just a polite reminder, I have encouraged my audience to not be YouTube addicts even if I do upload to YouTube. You are encouraged. We're going to do some spirituality today to counter the fear. You are encouraged to bookmark certain websites that you can convert the long-form YouTube videos to an MP3. Then take the MP3, drag and drop onto your MP3 player, and as I showed you before, then connect your MP3 player to, say, something like this, which runs about $10 at, say, the 99-cent store or something like that. And with some sort of like a battery bank, which I don't yet own, which is the next topic of conversation. I need to get that. Basically a USB, a battery bank for my solar panels and for things like this. And so let's talk about that. I have a running poll going, and at the end of the afternoon, I would appreciate it if you participate in the poll. And you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the truth. I'm not looking for you to lie to me. I'm looking for the truth. But this computer right here, right, it needs a mommy. It needs a daddy. It needs a power source. So I have the panels. I don't have the cables. I don't need the inverter and the charge controller, I don't think. I just need the cables. If I get the, it's called, let me bring it up for you now. Well, the brand is All Power. Okay, for one thing. Then we're going to go back and talk about this thing that got me hot this morning, that had me very, very angry. But instead of get angry and get vicious, let's talk about what makes me angry and how maybe I can evolve beyond the anger and just kind of like deal with it. All Power's R600 super quiet portable power station, super quiet, 299 WH600W live POF battery backup with UPS function, 400 watt max input for outdoor camping, RV, home use. See, this is the stuff I fantasized about years ago. When I was off grid, what I did is I had deep cycle batteries, and then I started to use golf cart batteries that were bought in Pueblo, Colorado, that were used to charge the 250 watt solar panels. The only off-grid thing other than my clothing and personal possessions that I took with me. I even left all my, and I regret it, I was having such a, I guess, run to the hills or run from the hills breakdown that I left all my Stargate DVDs and things that I was passionate about. I did some less than super intelligent things in 2020 and 2021 that worked against my growth online. I sabotaged myself in addition to knowing I was sabotaged by others. But I did it out of FEAR of them, of the super state nations. Not of you or trolls, of really powerful, dangerous people that control militaries. Okay, it's time you know the truth, that what you have perceived from me over the years to be like childish, squirrel-like, animalistic fear, which you don't have since you're a big man. Yeah, because you're covering nothing. And your kind hasn't been blamed for 9/11. Now, like, there's reasons, rational reasons why, as a humanoid animal, you don't want to completely be without FEAR when you are doing big things in a world of gangsters and dead bodies. You should want to extend your life. And while I don't worship Dion Fortune, I've had disagreements with aspects of her work, but most of it I agree. But that part there about sacrificing yourself, no offense, but I'm hearing Alex Jones ranting about sacrificing yourself at the altar. I used to love that 2006 Alex Jones rant over Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls. But as I listened to it as a young man at 26, 27, I'm like, this is rocking. However, do I agree with Alex Jones that we should sacrifice our life and die for a cause? Well, what if the cause is co-opted? Then should we sacrifice our life? What if we're being conned? What if we're being conned by a deceiver, by an archon? Then is it brilliant to sacrifice our lives during the solar flares because we don't realize we have suicidal tendencies during solar flares? And by the way, solar flares. By the way, watch that Tyson. Have you seen Tyson on Twitter? Did you see Tyson do the you know what I'm talking about? The where the rhythm is back? Because you saw him as a fat, no offense to those that are obese, but we all know we saw Tyson looking a little less than hot during what? During what? During what? Solar minimum. There you go, honey. Solar minimum. During solar minimum, Mike Tyson wasn't doing, now it's solar maximum. The sun is exploding, but it's Mike Tyson with all of his connections to Donald Trump, Alex Jones, and the rest of them, Andrew Tate, whole nine yards. He's an approved Muslim, being black and white because he's the right heritage. Girl, it's true. It's not just the wokers, baby. You've just been activated by the Ansary. Did you feel that, enlightenment? It's not just the left, it's the right-wingers. Did you get that, right-wingers? It's them too. Are you healed now? Send me an email saying you get it, bro. It's the left and the right doing this white and black versus the world thing. You heard it here first. God bless your soul for being here. It takes balls and tits to hang in there, day in and day out. And I see the ratings are low. I get the phone calls from upstairs. We're gonna pull our sponsorship, and I'm saying upstairs like headquarters, the building, the ivory tower. Folks, I'm fucking with you. It's not gaslighting, folks, for me to bring in some humor so we don't go nuts. Enough with the conspiracy shit. Yeah, I got the call from upstairs. They're like, Alex, stop talking about that stuff and start doing fluffy lovey stuff. You can't do that. We're gonna pull our sponsorship, bro. We're gonna pull our sponsorship. No more freeze-dried ads. No more bunker ads, bro. We're just going to pull our advertisement. You know what's really crazy, though? I told you, I've known millionaires Not billionaires, I don't think. I know I've known multiple millionaires. In this lifetime, Christopher Green likely is, or he says he knows them, and I work for him for like peanuts. He never really talked to me. I would have loved to have like picked his mind and him pick my mind. Just so you know, like behind the scenes, I sent Chris Green lots of emails going, bro, just talk to me about World War III in 2025. This isn't about employee friendship, ego. This is about a saving America. So I think you need to know Chris Green has received, not in a stalking manner, in a threatening manner, or a bothersome manner, but maybe 5 to 10 emails from me, including my ebooks, trying to extend an olive leaf branch. And I said, I repent of being critical of you because you did provided something for me that helped me escape homelessness. So, I was critical of Chris Green, then I did apologize to him. And he doesn't have to. He's not obligated to talk to me, nor like, am I obligated to talk to you? I'm fair, guys. I'm fair. But just so you know, Alex Ansary has tried to be a bigger man than he was a few months ago and a few years ago, and say sorry to a few people to see if they're willing to, So Clyde Lewis, I'm sorry, bro, for megaphoning you. Ansary did that. So let's pretend we're in AA, and I'm being lectured by my sponsor, and we're talking about AA and alcoholism. Hey, Gunnar, you're out there. You're not, are you? Maybe Aaron even unsubscribed by now. Because when you hit a level of truth, even if you're not attacking, it'll be of such an intense wavelength that these so-called followers of God will just completely disappear themselves from your audience. I want to talk also a little bit, I know I'm jumping here, but that is the beauty of this, isn't it? I want to talk a little bit about one of the main messages here in Solar Wars 2025. And it's basically just an encouragement for you to understand that things are not as they seem. You need to be careful who you're with for this meltdown. And there's a lot of ways women, and I am a heterosexual man, so, you're not going to hear me talk about homosexual men. It's normal for me as a hetero, as in I'm not into men. Get it? No, I'm not. It's normal for me to talk about the psychology of women being a heterosexual man, for those that are just slow. You're a slow society collectively, no offense. You get an F from me, so you need to be talked to like a child. This isn't misogyny when I focus sometimes on women and prepping, because I'm not interested with being a bunch of sausages that are unstable. Most men to me are totally unstable. I dislike the vast majority of the penises and men in this world. Just so the women understand, they have to be reminded, those that just arrived. I've exposed men like 15 years ago. Like, you need to go into my archives and look at crusty old Alex Ansary, just to use an expression of speech. You know what I mean? When I'm looking like a bum and I'm in my car and people think I'm nuts, I'm dropping serious psychic gnosis and truth. And most of the people that you see are psychics or people that live in nice houses, mansions. James Gillen, they're like the dude from the Lebowski. They play this role of the ascended master. And people like James Gillen, for those of you that don't know this, I used to go up to his ranch a lot. I did psychically pick up on bad alien energy from him. And I do believe that all you need is common sense that's not possessed by the devil to look at his history on Coast to Coast and the amount of times that James Gillen is falsely claimed to have revealed some sort of alien walk-in or mothership light, including one of a light beaming into his body, allegedly taken from space. Complete hogwash. That's not how the light beams work at all. So there is an alien invasion. It is here now, but what people want to know, is it going to get physical, though? You know what I mean? Like the alien jinn, like it's here. And I told you we're going to watch aspects of Sufi reality. Maybe we watch aspects of it today as kind of a caveat during one of our scheduled breaks. We're about 15 minutes out from our break. I'm going to be playing more synthwave music to avoid the blocks. But I have no problem with the partial block being in Russia because, Russia. This has been sitting for a while, but you might want to change it out every now and again and throw it out. Garlic. I have chosen to put garlic and various crystals and essential oils in and around my window sill and altar at my bedroom, and told you that recently I added a spiritual altar. And right around that time, not a lot, but some unusual emails were coming in that seemed to have misprofiled me as far as having a different psychology or background, or I'm not sure. But there were some signs of maybe some confusion there. And I really would wish those of you that have been around me for 20 years, that have been around since the beginning, if you are of the light, you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to read the Bible, but if you really are legit, I really do appreciate it when the long-term viewers say that they're around. It gives me hope and faith that I'm not alone. But when people come and go and they say they're listening, but they don't hang around and they're new viewers, I'm not likely to engage with you at all until I see that you've been around for a year or more. Sometimes I make an exception when I ask people to contact me, and then they contact me for a few months, and then information starts to get revealed to where in the end, I actually reject even talking to that person. I'm actually very transparent with you about what I require as far as friendship. It's not donation and praise or sales of books. I'm willing to say white lives matter, and I'm willing to say black lives matter, and I expect the same of you, especially if you're a part of, what I'm talking about. And I don't think the future is going to look down upon me for this type of exchange. They're going to go in 2030. Why did the people in 2024 and the people of Portland not say to Alex immediately via email that his life matters and that they're going to work to expose the wars? So I'm going to be calmly loving with this instead of shout. No, 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 no. I'm keeping to myself from you folks, even if you want to send donations, because I don't trust you. There is a very long history we have, especially Portlanders, of making a beeline to my energy to try to entrap me. And I totally believe that we as humans are susceptible to this alien programming deception, which I've been discussing for a very long time, the archonic interference. And so what I've really been hoping is that people more aware of the archonic interference and that it is where a lot of this targeting is coming from. I've been waiting for them to arrive. I get the buzzing in the head. I get the attacks on the computer, but I don't perceive it to be human-based, period. As I said, you do have New Agers out there like James Gill and others that do talk about the alien agenda, but they will more often than not promote the idea of the supposed alien saviors. And that's not really something that I can bed down with. The 10 equations that rule the world, one of several associates in Portland sent this to me by David Sumter. And I'm going to show you the book now. Okay, and I recommend that you get on thriftbooks.com and, I'm not sure how to go to business for myself. It's going to require a lot of energy, but I would like to promote quality books, booksellers, and survival items, and then do my own custom, Amazon, I recommend this, I recommend this. Not so much what I don't recommend, but there's certainly things out there that I would not buy again, and certainly things out there say you're an aspiring activist, and you want to be an off-grid media truther, which some of you might think about. It's the idea, and I'm a pioneer in that. Going off-grid and making money or not making money, it's best if you don't do it for the money, and if you don't show your property, and if you don't use your name. And you use the healing aspects of nature. You tap into the magic of trees, which I do and did in Pagosa, and the magic of the magnetism under the ground of the aquifer, which was where I was in Costilla. And so while people might be monitoring anything that I say just because I stood up for off-gridders and their right to live, they should be looking at my solar flare slideshow and then fact-checking how much of that is real, and then looking at my other things that I say is real. So it was in Pagosa, it was in Costillas first that I wrote that first ebook, basically. Then I went to Pagosa and published it in 2017, then was attacked online, and then that attack from the person online led to things that led to me leaving online, which led to the Coast to Coast interview. So it was all part of this journey of creating a book about the sun, living off-grid, advocating for people living off-grid but not criminals, and knowing that the people that I advocated to live off-grid, including everybody in Costilla County that I know of, especially everybody white, be mature enough to not take offense to a factual state of affairs. Grow in maturity every day that you watch this. Meditate before, during, and after this program, and understand what Vipassana meditation is. So when you're hearing me speak, and you're in a meditative, you're taking in the information without reacting to it. When you hear white, black, a lot of you almost warm up and glow inside if I criticize black people or immigrants. There's almost a comfort food vibration magnetism that goes through. But if you hear white supremacy, it's this trigger word because they damaged you, son. They damaged your mom. They damaged you into thinking that any criticism of white supremacy was attacking your ancestry, was blaming you for in the past, or is engaged in anti-white. No, what is anti-white is ignoring the past of systemic white supremacy and systemic black supremacy, which your boy Alex will call out on your behalf because your son cares about you. because your dad cares about you, because your brother, because your friend from another lifetime gives a damn about you, white boy. And so when I see this Red Ice Creations, they're after you, white man, I become angry because I don't see those white people really trying to help white people. Henry from Red Ice Creations. And to know my mom listened to him just creeps me the fuck out. That she has an interest in over 10 people that I know for a fact are white supremacist QAnon. But when I tell her that, she's like, derpy derp? I have no idea. You have no idea in 2023 how to identify a white nationalist? Wow. You can't be helped at this age because past a certain age, 50 or 60, it's cognitive decline. It's cognitive decline. It's nature to fall into like being senile and shit past a certain age. But I think that at a certain age, 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds, I kind of do demand that they not play victim and go, oh, I'm being senile. I'm too old to count. No, not if you have time to watch Sean Atwood, David Icke, Carrie Cassidy, and if you have time to subscribe to Mel Gibson or whatever that blonde lady is who has the fluffy, I'm so positive because I have a million viewers nonsense. Like she knows what it's like to suffer. Just give me a friggin' break, man. These people are not victims that you watch, Mom. They're very popular YouTubers that have big plates of food and steak. They're not suffering. And they're not being bombed back to the Stone Age. So they don't have the gusto that I have. It's when you're of the DNA that feels that threat and that your psychic abilities can come alive because your survival relies on it. So my survival, guys, my psychic abilities were necessary the last 10 years to keep me away from bad people, places, and things. And it's activated right now with who I choose to interact with online and who I choose to not. Now, I wanted positive people to interact with me, but I think some people are so shallow in the brain that because they haven't dealt with stalking and harassment, they get personally offended when they hear about someone having haters. Or they don't have the natural, for whatever reason, possibly alien interference, natural human empathy for another human being who is suffering. Now, I don't know how to make sense out of this book. It has nothing to do that I know of with spirituality and prepping or geopolitics. It almost seems like it was a book that was picked without any thought because I'm not a person that understands math. So when I look at this book, I'm like, was any thought put into this book? Because when I buy a book, I put deep, deep thought into the book and I go for the cheapest price, right? If there's going to be extra money, send that money directly to the person who's suffering and starving. Don't spend $20 on a UPS package. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just pay $5 and let it take a month to get there. Giving all this extraordinary money to chocolate companies and Easter egg companies and cheese companies is not impressive. Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand some people are getting older, but you understand, like, we don't know how much time we have left, and some of us are going to be going hungry and starving and eating our hands. So my advice is, from here on out, when you think about gifts, think about what's coming to America and stop acting like a damn fool. Think about freeze-dried food. Think about food, numbnuts. Are you stupid or something? Do you speak English? Food, food, food. No more Hallmark cards. No more cheese. We're talking substantial food. Little crackers is not where we need to be right now on the earth. Little cheese crackers and little truffles and shit isn't the energy we need, dude. Okay, we need masculine energy, the type of intelligence that can deal with a riot at a nightclub in 1994. We need like a brainiac to troubleshoot the situation and not send candies and shit. Do you understand who I'm talking to? Okay? Because I'm not taking this lying down. You are instructed to no longer support the Hallmark Corporation from me, and I haven't even done my homework as to why. Just stop it. Make blessings on paper, bless people in the name of whatever, send them books, and tell them, if you're not going to read these books because you have your head up your coolio, then all the books that I sent you, be it the book by Philip K. Dick or the book on psychic self-defense, send it all back. Send it all back if you don't take that seriously. If it's just going to sit on the shelf and not go anywhere. Same thing for my mom. You did throw away my Anthony Older DVDs, didn't you? When I sent you that big box in 2005, didn't you? For the audience that doesn't know, before I lost my stuff, just so you know, I sent my mom a box of DVDs of my show because I was under psychosis and I was proud of myself. You know, I thought that she would be proud of me in 2006 and went, whoa, dude, I had no idea that you came out of my body and that you did this. She never said good job. So I'm assuming that she tossed that along with the photo albums in the friggin' garbage. And this is a person who had the gall to use the following words to bait me into saying it back to her. Are you ready for it? I love you. Anyway, going back to the image here. We live on a planet where rape is love and love is hate or something. It's just like, wow, bro. You think you know what love is and that I should say love to you? If you love someone, set them free. If you want to honor your parents, wake them up before they go into the netherworld. Now, in a future video, I've shown you right here on the screen, but in a future video, I don't want to do it now. I'll show you Astral City, but it's going to have to be on Substack because they won't pull down the copyright. By the way, this is not steroids. This is not dope. I get comical and then I watch the unsubs. One time I went like this. I'm not juicing, folks. And if you think I'm juicing, wow. No, I'm not that fit. I'm hardly fit compared to the potential if I was working out really hard and eating a high protein, high quality steak, an Andrew Tate diet. He says he just eats meat and drinks coffee all day. That's weird. Do you really believe that? Or do you think that he's such a tool that he's making up crap? Plus, he's shoving pizza in his face. Pizza is not a health food. So you're messing with Greta. You're talking about how Greta isn't ready for sex, showing you kind of have pedophilia tendencies. And it's like if Greta is a sexual being, a sexual goddess, if you will, to Anglo-Saxon men, just own that shit. Just own that shit and admit it. She really turns you on. Because if you look at the deepfake porn, she's on it. I glanced at it. I'm sorry. And then I hit the back button. I went, whoa, that's not right, bro. And then I became aware they had celebrity, that's not cool, man. She's too young for that. So for thousands and thousands of men to be getting it on to a Greta video shows that even though I'm not for the climate change maniacs, there really is like an anti-woman rage that does exist when people talk shit about Greta and AOC. That is true. There really is a racial anti-woman energy with right-wingers. That doesn't mean that AOC, I got people hot now. If the shoe fits, buddy, feel free to put it on. Alex Stein is a real scumbag, and he was funny when it got started. And people thought it was funny for him to sexually harass AOC just because AOC is a left-winger who has different politics. And he kept screaming about her big booty. And this sexual harassment got the vaginas lubricated of so many right-wing women, I think including Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it's like that super carnal, super angry man, lustful, rapey energy, Trump grabbing that pussy, whole 9 yards. It gets a certain segment of our kink population hot on a primitive brain level. They may not be conscious that they're getting wet, but on the decision-making level at the front of the brain, they're like, this is good. This is strong man. He knows how to take charge. He's a real man. And they may not know from the reptilian part of the brain that when they said grab that coochie, they got a bing, 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 this is our man. He's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. It's like a sign of they're willing to go for it and be a powerful man. And see, that's what's wrong with women. Women are diseased that incarnated with us, as well as many men. Again, if you think that I'm going to flatter you men and women when you men and women have resulted in our society becoming a toilet bowl, if you don't take accountability for men like me becoming homeless in your society, when it's not the government that did shit to me, it's you. It's so-called fake-ass truthers that act like they're against. No, it's not the government. Yes, they may have done 9/11, but it's you, the people in the audience, that can do more than send me emails and donations. You can actually take action in your community, call radio stations, and get me on the radio. You have the power. It is like He-Man. You have the power now. You are not a victim. I am a victim. You're victimizing me every time you listen to me year in year and you don't take real action to get me on the radio or to shame Alex Jones or Clyde Lewis for playing the role that they did in my isolation or causing people to view me as a subhuman migrant. You have to take accountability for the actions of Donald Trump and Joe Biden, for the actions of not only Alex Jones, but Amy Goodman. Amy Goodman of Democracy Now! Doesn't want to have a brown person on to have an alternative view, but she'll have some traumatized Arabs on that talk about getting, forcefully fed up the anus. And so we hear this really traumatic story about this man who's basically been raped, and he's crying. He's like, and my book is, that's awesome, but I think that you do need to display a little bit of masculinity, if you don't mind me saying so. I think you need to display just a a bit of masculinity if you're going to have non-white people on. Show someone powerful in their confidence that's trying to tell the people to wake up. Not just a man that's crying, but Amy Goodman gets kudos from me for at least allowing that, because you're not going to hear a crying man who did time in Gitmo on the Alex Jones show. That's where you're a Satanist if you're not holding Alex Jones to task. I told you, fucker. I told you that Alex Jones acted like he cared about the victims of war when he drilled a bit into the iPod. Who the fuck are you to continue to watch InfoWars and Owen and American Journal and not ask them, why don't you talk about innocent people anymore that are being eradicated? Don't you care about Americans? Don't you realize that what goes around comes around? What is wrong with you? I applaud the fact that only 50 of you are going to tune in today. Because if half of you are going to be of such a low voltage that you don't want me to truth you, you shouldn't be here. I don't want you listening to me. We're going to take a break, folks. And, I just want you to think about things. Because we're getting really close, and you shouldn't be living with any regrets at this time. We're going to stick with Synthwave music today. Okay? And we will continue this discussion. We're going to go at random to a song. At random. Be back in 10.
Fix your dog! Come on!
Now what we've got here is iodine. For those that don't know, this is liquid iodine, and this is something that you want to. This is something that you want to have in your preparedness setup. Okay, you want to have that in your preparedness setup. All right. Definitely don't want to leave that on the ground. And this is supposed to be good for preventing radiation. So who knows what type of radiation we may have gone through. Just blow that out there. We don't know what type of radiation we may be going through from disasters, magnetic radiation, unknown weapons and technology, unnatural magnetic radiation from 5G and or other things. So from what I understand, I felt guided to pick this up and put this in my preparedness kit. You know, I don't want to make the same mistake that I've made before in other situations in other places in which I had too many things and water containers and filled them and ended up having to move, right? So I'm glad I did not over prepare for the grid disruption. This is not the same thing as the apocalypse. The definition of apocalypse is to reveal. This is the age of revealing. So this is the apocalypse. Yes, it is. But it's not the end of the world. But could it be the end of our grid in the way that which we've been living? Always thought that since I was a young kid. Always. Never going to change. Do I think that we're just going to go on? Yes, we could end up in the Jetson Society, but that is actually going to be very draconian and bad for the people that are left out when they build the shadow government ethno-state. Echoing some of my statements last night in my incredibly important news video with only 50 views. Absolutely ridiculous. If this was 5 years ago, there would be 400 or 500 views on that video. On the same note, though, there are some videos that I see that appear to have over 300 views. View counts isn't important. What's important is that when I create content of a quality nature, that it's heard by humans, you see. It's not narcissism if I'm going to go out with a megaphone, or doxing myself if I truth people. Yeah, somebody might know the sound of my voice, so what? And nothing. Exactly, nothing. Okay? This is why I was like, wow, I need to be in Vegas. Wow, I need to be in the action. Then boom, cyber attack hits Las Vegas. Now, I don't want to be doing a heavy news show full of facts, but we are going to glance soon in the coming minutes, maybe during my next break. I will look at the computer and pull up a few headlines. So we have some additional information and let us see. So are they preparing to take out the grid and then create disruption? Because you know, when there's a 911 power outage, I don't know that they said that there was a cell phone outage. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be dystopian mind control content through the cell phones, but the physical grid and 9/11 system may be out. Okay? Now, people end up getting their power from Starlink, and the cell phone towers are out with the grid, and they can still be tapping into those websites. They don't have to be based in San Francisco. We see that Google has been going to Oregon for years. They could be a part of a plan, a master plan. People already do suspect Google of a lot of things, so they may have advanced information. Okay, so I may or may not be getting my dental implant finished, but I've already invested a good chunk of cash and years of donations and working for myself for $300 a month or $400 a month. Most of it went into, my medicine needs, cannabis, which is cheaper there in Colorado, and, a lot more options than other places in America. Portland too, a lot of cheap options compared to other places in America, even where it's legal. It's way more expensive, marijuana is. Places like here and other places when it's not Oregon. Oregon is cheap, like $50 an ounce cheap. You only pay 50 or 100 elsewhere outside of Oregon, and it's still garbage weed. Unless you know something I don't know. And like I said, say me after class. But, definitely would like to travel to an MDMA study. So anyway, this is ginseng, just to let you know. I do take days off coffee. Today's not one of them. But, and then I'm spending a little bit on mineral water, and I see no real major adverse effects. I perceive myself to be very, very psychic at this time. and to be developing certain abilities and powers that I'm not necessarily speaking of, but I am speaking of the enhanced psychic perception and years of perceived mental illness that people may have thought I had about the solar flares, the need to be off-grid, suspecting it of covertly making a meth lab or doing some criminal organized crime behavior because I made mistakes with heroin because I didn't have marijuana in 1999. Folks, it's time that people grow up and realize that we are by design, on purpose, a childish, self-centered bully society. Now, when you wake up into a world and little kids that are only a few years old walk up to you and without knowing you, try to deliver a knockout punch for no reason whatsoever, this is a sign that young people can be easily possessed. And this is part of the Alex Ansary story. I swear before Jesus Christ, and if you want me to, Muhammad, Buddha, and Krishna. Although I don't think you need me to do that. We'll just stick with Christ. I'm not swearing on the Old Testament. I'm swearing on the Christ consciousness. My entire soul. Oh, you think I don't believe in that stuff? That's on you, buddy. I have never in my life in high school ever walked around punching people or attacking people or plotting against people. Gunner tried to get me to start a fight once in 2000, though, with an Indonesian kid. I got a bad feeling while I got out of the car. They were pumped up on solar flares. And the G-Man doesn't know nothing about solar flares still. Neither does Aaron, neither does Mike Bluehair. They're a satanic witch friend who's connected with Antifa. And what's the common denominator about them and what makes me different? Oh, come on, bro. You should know now in 5 seconds or less. So you see it now. People on the left, the right, different political persuasions, they will often be under the same alien spell. And they will often share the same apathy. So a lot of you, because of my Anglo side, I do have the ability, if you want to open up your heart, to truth you, because I am a actual part of the white race. Even if you think that I'm out of it, and I'm for those of you that are old school nutbags, anti-white for criticizing white supremacy, that's as scary and terrifying to the white race that you can be. To confuse criticism of Adolf Hitler and Nazism with criticism of white people just living their own lives. Like, that's going to fuel black supremacy. All of that type of rhetoric saying that if people are criticizing white supremacy, that they're a part of the woke movement, that creates like red fire rage towards innocent white people. That right there. The denial of racism. Look at the recent video from Alex Stein. I don't know where he travels around the nation, but it's the first time I looked at his channel in 2 years. He's so unfunny. And he seems to be doing the mock, I'm so evil, I'm so white, I'm so evil, I'm so white, in a pretty dramatic, over-the-top way. And acting like that to marginalize anybody critical of white supremacy as anti-white is evil. I mean, it's pure devil worship. It's not anti-white to call out the horrible things that have been done in the name of white people to harm white people. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, for example, is going to be used against the American people, in my opinion. I'm against the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I gave the American people a long time to heal that damage. Veterans of all people should be healing, not with money or donations, but through positive energy of empathy. Something as simple as, I understand what you've been through, and wow, just words of encouragement. That's all I've asked. Humans today are capable of buying books and giving money and encouraging you to party with them and sleep on their couch because they want the energy. They want that essence. They want a vampire. That's the truth, because that's what we are as humans. We need energy to survive. It's not a bad thing. It's just that people need to learn how to be their own energy conduit and not try to get my energy. I don't need to be in your house for you to have this energy. You need to take my advice to a T that's in this book. You need to meditate. You need to know what Vipassana meditation is. When I make references to the Magical Battle of Britain, you should already be studying the book if you were given the book and familiar with the vocabulary. So when I say on this date, we're going to do a mass meditation and we're going to pull in the cross, you already know what the cross is. You've already painted it if you're creative, and you're not waiting for me to paint the image or for me to be the light being in your house. You're going to do it where you are in Los Angeles, in Seattle, in Montana, and God, there's got to be one of you in Pagosa. Like, seriously, none of you? Folks, that's not an accident. If none of you is watching from the American Southwest in a positive, nurturing, go, Alex, go. Go, Alex, go. There's something wrong in Denmark. So let's go to a random page, shall we? I've come to discover that having an independent human perspective on the sun isn't any less controversial than having an opinion on politics or religion. In fact, it seems to invoke a similar argumentative tone that suggests things like, it can't be so, you are a crazy person, or Most of all, who are you to know something about the sun? These seem to be the default automatic responses or retorts that seem programmed and embedded in the psyche, like a software default program. I suspect there are many program attitudes within mass consciousness, especially our own society. So I'm just being honest with you. I've been looking at solar research and stuff, and they don't deal with conspiracy theories or perspectives or contrarianism. They try to stick to the science. But Space Weatherman, or SO, he is conspiracy theory, even though he says eyes open, no fear. He's terrified. He probably doesn't say that anymore. Maybe he does. What he posts on Twitter is not consistent with eyes open, no fear. He's riddled with fear. We're talking pissing the pants and urine stains. The immigrants are coming. White man, you're in danger. Well, white man, if you're in so much danger, then maybe you should consider the content of Alex Ansary, because Alex Ansary is trying to help the white man. But however, if you're going to go white man, you're in danger, and you can only listen to a white man like Chris Green of AMTV, who over and over and over gave you fake information and promoted Russia, is this just trust the white man strategy that y'all got going on really the smartest thing you've ever done? Now, I just want you to think about that for a minute. 60 seconds minimum. Is this, we're just going to watch Alex privately and not share his content today with Coast to Coast, Lisa Line, Coast to Coast, George Norrie, Tim Rush Limbaugh, the stunt double of Coast to Coast. If you're not going to actually help me share the content and you're just going to watch it privately with your girlfriend in your apartment, what the fuck's wrong with you? None of you really is sending the verbal God force support required for a man like me to make it to the top. A lot of you are still at this like observer, like, what's Alex going to say now? You should already know what I'm going to say. You were already given the tools on meditation, prayer to God, tips on discernment. You should already know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how I'm going to feel about it, and what my show's going to be about. You should already be tapped in. Just like that woman that I intercourse with was open to get close to me in 2006 and touch her forehead to mine, and we felt that, but then it was so deep, that love for her was so deep that she got away from me. How are you different than her? Mom, dad, fake dad, audience members, how are you different than E in Oregon? Now escaped to a very conservative place in America after years of swimming with the dolphins and official beliefs in climate change that came from the left. See, you got to pay attention to these people that are both left-wing and right-wing that were dedicated their whole lives to leftism or right-wingism, but when things don't work out for them, and see, I'm talking about both left and right, they're the first to ditch their area that was all about their politics and go for an area that's opposite of their politics. See what I'm saying? So we have blue state cities, people, going to red state regions, you dig? And then we got red state regions or red state people that are living it up while hating leftists in left-wing cities. They're going in Portland, Oregon, the Lars Larsons of the world, the Victoria Tafts of the world, and they're eating that Thai food, that Vietnamese food, assuming that they don't just eat, white man food, steak and potatoes, and they actually have a palate. The other thing is when you have these eclectic energies and different races in a city with different parties, there is a festive energy at times. And I want to take you back. And on that note, we'll go ahead and listen to it. Take you back from the Rocky soundtrack. And we'll talk about it because it looks like we're ready for a break. But just for you to understand, and the A-Man can confirm, Portland, Oregon was at one point... No, Alex, don't type in Portland. Where were you on music? Take you back. Portland, Oregon was, even though it has the lust carnal thing, some of you think that's awesome though. Like I get it. Portland was, at one point, one of the greatest cities on the earth. Not one of the worst cities on the earth. So a lot of you right now, you're doing this. You're chasing that bull, but you already smoked it and you need to reload it. What do you mean? You need soul essence people in Portland that aren't there for 14 days that have fucking housing, that are going to go from one couch to another and they're going to be rooted in their home. They're not going to be back out in the streets, and you're going to fight with a megaphone tooth and nail, literally driving through the streets to go, why won't you give this man housing? This is the gusto that I demand before ever buying a plane ticket to Portland. We're going to rock that town. They're going to make newspapers about my arrival. This isn't going to be this covert, you and me are going to have sex and drink. No, if I'm coming to Portland, we're going to rock Portland like a rock concert. If you don't have the heavy metal hair to rock with me right now because of alcoholism or mental health issues, don't talk to me. I need somebody with the 80s hairband hair energy. We need Dawn's energy from Bruce Nagel's friend. We need that rock and roll all over you energy from the Moody Blues. You know, like a rock, I'm gonna roll over you. Like a rock, I'm gonna roll over you. I'm an 80s baby. I have pure prana. I can't meet you because if I raise my voice, you might think that I'm trying to challenge you to a fight. I will not tolerate stupidity. Ever. This is why we can't meet. You're not ready for me in person. I'm a scary guy and I make people angry because I have an energy about me that's nonverbal, that's perceived to be caustic. What it is, it's an energy that attacks demons and entities. So if you don't know that you have an entity attached to you from the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, the Afghan War, and you hit play on my channel, that entity is going to be screwing with you, and it could play nice guy, let's be nice to Alex to get him into our lair or place to entrap, or it could be attack, which one is doing. Attack, attack, attack. What one veteran? Attack, you're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You're not Afghan, you're playing. I hate you, I hate you. Like, this is totally alien and not of the light, and it's not of Jesus. So we do have people right now that are activated by pure hatred, and you as a true speaker can have nothing to do with people that just compliment you and throw money at you. It is a trap. And these people, some of them have a constant stream of money every month from the government. So they can throw money and it means nothing. And $8 a month is nothing. $8 a month will barely buy you a Big Mac or a Happy Meal at McDonald's. $8 a month by itself and only by itself is basically an insult, actually, if you have the financial means to help someone in need. You understand what I'm saying? Just $8 a month by itself, if you have the means, is an insult to the content creator. When you sit back and you drink your beers and you have your plate of food, and then you know for a fact someone is suffering literally and doesn't have the finances for their fucking medicine, don't act perturbed when they're not feeling well. This is what you Portland fucks don't get. You have a Portland white privilege that you won't admit. You have affordable medicine, you have rockin' energy and vibes, you can walk into a bar and have an interesting conversation with a woman or a guy about the stars and the cosmos. But in that conversation, my name won't come up. And if it does, it's done in a negative context or let's talk about his info and just vampire on his brain. Let's see if we can get in his brain and get the answers to how we get out of this planetary. And that's fine if you want the healing, but you have to have the spirit of giving back. How do we make sure this guy has housing in Portland? How do we contact the housing authority to go, why are you helping random people from Los Angeles that are fentanyl dealers? And why aren't you creating an exception for this guy who's not in the streets now, but can we get him on a housing plan or an application without him physically living in a shopping cart? And that's the truth in Portland. You physically have to be there physically. Who's going to help me get a mailing address in Portland? None of you. So don't talk to me until you're ready to get me a mailing address. That's the next step. I will only talk at this point to Portlanders that are going to assist me with a mailing address. And you are going to have to make an oath to Jesus Christ also. I will have nothing to do with any of you that have any hesitancy regarding Christ after everything I've done to show you that I am not Orthodox. Okay, so you have to become a brother in Christ and you have to sign an oath, not in blood, that you will not steal any donation money that comes in to the mailing address. You're going to set up the P.O. box, and I'm going to announce to the public that that's where people can mail me stuff, books, anything. And then you're going to go through, right, the P.O. box, and then you're going to receive the donations and pass it on to me if there's donations in cash. Or you're going to pass on the books to the proper people that I put you in contact with to then receive the package. Because until you go through a 2 to 3 year screening process like previous friends, you don't get authorization to my inner circle. You're out of the inner circle. You are on probation status for multiple years until you prove to me that there isn't some sort of alien influence behind the perceived friendliness and attempts to contact me. Okay, the vast majority of the people that came into my life in a sexual or friendly or let's drink together or sleep together or come hang on my couch or come sleep on my bed. That's another thing. One woman who I believe was infected by the alien voices in the head, who was older, you may be watching, you may be not. There was no reason, ma'am, for you to demand that I sleep on your physical bed. I was under the perception, because you're in a Michael Tellinger and MSNBC and Obama, that you were a vampire and that you wanted me to release my chi energy because, it's cool. You're a Portland woman, older, but you're still a Portland woman. So you wanted me to release my chi through the act of sleeping on your bed, when in fact sleeping in someone's primary bed is the last thing that I would ever do. So I don't hate you. I get it. You're a woman, I'm a man, we're at different ages. I get it. But if you're ever going to invite someone to your house, you don't go sleep in my physical bed. You know what I mean? So I can go numb. Like if you're saying you could sleep in my bed because it really is a good bed and the other bed is bad, then say that. But the other bed in that wonderful Hawthorne apartment or house wasn't a bad bed. So there was no rational reason for the only person that gave me housing or said I can stay there. But say I have to assume that she's senile at age 80. However, last time I heard from her, there was no sign then at age 72 or 73 of being senile. So if someone is senile and they just don't understand and they're slow, like when you say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't come to your birthday party because I'm 1,000 miles away. Now, if they don't understand that concept and how to bring, and if they don't tell their friends, well, I got this house and I really need my space because I'm a caretaker for other elderly. Does anybody in my inner circle have like a backyard to where the survivalists can pitch a tent? So these are the things that I expect from Angel Soul and others that were in my inner circle, that people use their text messaging system, your cell phones, through your messaging system, which God gave you, and try to work through the network of people to create a peer support system to where I can be a nomad within Portland and go from house to house to house to house and be rocking and rolling without any man or woman going alpha to me and going, now I've got you, my pretty. Now this is the rules of the house. And so Portlanders are like that. And I want to stop talking about him, but there were aspects of my former hero that were really scary to me. He would say, maybe I'll let you live in my house, but you can't bring anybody over. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And, in the end, he gave more time and energy to guys that are corrupted. That's all. I do pray for him. I'm going to send him books, but I don't think he's happy with me. But, you weren't before. You weren't before. So we'll read from this book that he sent and see if there's anything in this that we can use. Okay? If there was any thought put in this book which has nothing to do with the sun. There's nothing to do with the sun at the books in Portland. So if they're metaphysical in Portland and they're conscious, there's no rational reason. Because if you go to PALS, just so you know, let's say someone's listening in Portland, okay? Let's just say hypothetically someone is awake in Portland. If you physically walk your body into a place called PALS, walk your ass and document, they have conspiracy theory books. Do it, bro. They've got conspiracy theory books from David Icke, maybe even Alex fucking Jones. So if white people who supposedly hate white supremacists, supporters, if they have right-wingers with books at PALS, but they won't have a brown man from Portland with a book in PALS, what's your deal, SA? Not bringing this up. You should be more into race issues. If you know for a fact the businesses in Portland won't even recognize my existence. Moving forward, with anyone from Portland, you're going to prove to me with documentation you're doing something or trying to make contacts to the Portland, Oregon airways. Once you do that, and you repent of any murders of people overseas, and you mark through the check boxes like a good boy who wants to evolve beyond the matrix, then we can talk about possible friendships and email exchanges. Till then, it's just going to be an output video. No email back and forth, no high five, oh, that's interesting. Just observation of what's there, and everything's documented. So being anonymous is great. It's great, smart, because everything is public, because they watch me, and they watch the emails, and the second a female starts going, what a nice looking young man, is the second they're like, zzz, oh my God, that guy is a Nephilim. I think he's an alien. I think he's the one plotting to kidnap us. Oh my God, dislike. I'm feeling voices. Oh my God, he's attacking me with his brain. Oh my God, he punched me with his brain. A punch came at me through the cell phone and I thought it was him. Oh my God. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. How about unsubscribe and never come back? If you know or even perceive that I'm the one that's doing that, why would you watch this channel? Folks, some of you aren't well. That's why your higher self guided you to the healer shaman. But yet you sometimes don't come with full respect. And I don't just mean in the comment section or lack thereof. I'm not really sensing telepathically that you're sending me love. I'm just sensing this type of, you're just hitting play and the analytics say that you watch for 2 minutes and leave. Is that true or is that a lie? Listen, according to the back end, you're hitting this video for 1 hour, but all of you are leaving after 2 minutes and you're not liking the video. Is that the truth or are you learning something from this? It looks like I did bring up the video in question. And it was playing, but not, So yeah, I'm just trying to take you back.
Yeah, take you back. Take you back. Well, I've been told by some people and they all say to take it back. Take it back like before. Now I don't call this a reason, I just call it believing in myself. Take it back. Take it back. And we'll push you back. You're pushing me too far. I love you for what I saw before. I've squeezed you and I've held you, but I could not tell you I love you. Take it back. Well, you put me down. You take me down real nice. It's love affair. It's taking the largest slice from my life. I can see it. Starting now, it's gonna have more meaning, girl. Take it back, girl. Take it back. If I just take it back, I just push it back. I just love you back. Take it back. If I just love you back, I just take it back.
It's gonna take a lot of love.
All right, and that's Lena with Knock on Wood from stage 2. Hey guys, don't forget to tip your bartenders and DJs. Thank you very much. Yes, sirree. Okay, so this is the Free Flow Alex Ansary show for April 18th, 2024. And if you're not hip yet to what is going down in the Ansary hood and the new civilizations that will be developed out of my seed, this is a free flow in which I don't talk with a script, in which I don't just stare at the news and scare the living daylights out of you. And so get prepared with Alex, get prepared with Gary. Buy now, buy now. I so need your affiliate marketing. While I won't be prepared, and I will basically create danger for myself by creating fake news. This is not the Next News Network with Gary Franchi. This is Alex Ansary. I am prepping with God. I'm not prepping with Sarah. I'm not prepping with Bruce Nagel. I'm not prepping with the A-Man. I'm not prepping with SurvivalCenter.com. I'm not prepping with Alex Jones. I'm prepping with God. And before I went megaphoning yesterday, I summoned the power of Christ to be with me as I rode like Paul Revere. And what do you think I said? Man, I did this a day before and I didn't even film it. The Russians are coming, folks. The Chinese are coming. The Muslims are not. The Muslims didn't do 9/11. The Muslims didn't do what's coming. Something's coming. The Muslims aren't responsible. China and Russia. And I told you at the beginning. What did I tell you? They're all working together in the end. There isn't really a real war. Some of you are hip to the fact that they're all in together, and you went, well, there won't be a war because they're all hip together. No, numbnuts. There will be a staged conflict where they determine the victor. It's a sacrifice. Now, what am I holding in my hands? What am I going to snack on later? Okay, today's broadcast, folks, is brought to you by Aquatic Turtle Diet for the hungry truther that is dissatisfied with GMO. So the nutritional benefits of turtle food for a human being are phenomenal. Okay, so I'm kidding. I'm not the best joker. I can tell no lie. I see this drop somewhere at the same moment in which I'm thinking, I need a turtle in my life. There's something about a turtle aura that I typed in turtle aura. A turtle aura is like a type of turtle or something. I'm looking for info on a turtle's aura or field around it, and I'm thinking like Rocky. If I was to have like a turtle homie, like that could really be an aid to my, meditation practices and spiritual protection and stuff. This is, I don't know what you think about this as far as like a meditative tool, but this was given as a friend. And then they have like lit ones. Here, let me get it going. And we'll go ahead and do this next to the microphone. So to me, this is kind of like a meditative, like, and then holding it still with the middle finger, and then moving. Maybe incorporate some circular motion. I'm sure I got some of you to laugh and go, there goes Alex, when I said I almost sprained my hand when I fell off the skateboard. Skateboard is not here. Skateboard's outside in the car. I want to go driving with my car to places where I can learn to skateboard. If you know what skateboard gear I should buy to, protect. If you know of skateboard gear that I can buy that can dovetail as ride defense in the event that I'm in a fight and I got to shield up with shin guards and elbow, because I don't want to waste money. If you know of stuff that I could use to shield up, just send me if you want to be nice, send me an anonymous email and go, get this on eBay. For those of you that are skateboarders and you want to be nice and stuff, because I gave you info, huh? Plus, because of Kyle, my camera don't work. Remember that? Let go, right, we'll break it. My camera did break, guys, a couple years later. Just saying, I want $200, Kyle. Not only are you a bad boy, you owe me a new camera. It's just stuff, guys. I am in the market for a new camera. Let's go back. Stay with me now. Chop, chop. Okay? Drink your piss. It's good. I learned this from that porn star that I mated with. She tracked me down in Portland, Oregon, said my solar flare articles got her hot. Yeah, she never talked to me about solar flares, though, but, we got hot. But when you take in your own essence, that's a very powerful thing. You know what I mean? All those minerals and vitamins going right back in you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful. Now, have we had a talk lately about how the mainstream media and movies often promotes criminal behavior? Yep, we talked about it. Anyway, this is what I was drinking, guys. This is what I was drinking. I don't drink my urine. That is some weird ass stuff. This is some lovey-dovey fancy olive oil that when I was being brainwashed by Gypsy Fox, I'm kidding, folks. This is high-end. It's an $8 bottle of high-quality olive oil. Mixing that with black pepper, cayenne, there we go. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, dear. All right. Now, I have not gone deep into this, but if you know what this could be used for in a grid-down situation, tell me. Tell me. What the hell? This is some nasty, nasty stuff, bro. This is next level, like barbarian, like puke in the toilet. I'm sorry. It's not good for your teeth, but in short amounts. And then ginkgo. This does not have an awesome taste, but this was bought at a one of those discount stores for like $5. Okay, and then we got the mason jar, and then we've got Life straw. I don't know when I bought this, 5 years ago, maybe. Okay. So there's this. Okay. And then there's this for putting the water in. Got it from a Goodwill store. And the idea is to let the sun water hit this so it's recharged. Like I said, I'm using a reverse osmosis filter in a municipal area. And I do question at times, and I wonder, is their water supply, is their water filter, their reverse osmosis filter that I pay 35 cents a gallon for, good enough to get out all the contaminants and drugs? Does anybody know? Everybody who I ask doesn't know nothing. They don't know nothing. I'm watching the next Karate Kid, which is like Karate Kid 4 or 5. You know, he goes on from Danielson and teaches a young black kid and a young white woman. And in this, it was in the 90s, I think. They were all about showing how rapey some men can be, as this young white woman is basically fighting off some white men from basically being, I hate to use the word because it triggers women, gang raped. But I think that women that look away from the reality of other women being raped are angelic souls just because they're female and we men want to fornicate with them. Just because we men have a sexual attraction to women doesn't mean that because they smell nice and because there's a chemical reaction going and we're developing a stiffy, it doesn't mean that they are of the light. And one person did say that they wanted to do a podcast with me about what they knew about the dark feminine. All I have right now are notes. And remember, I can go back and take everybody's notes from emails, string it together, and make a blog at some point. Or I can choose to at some point, right, now that my emails aren't being deleted by an irresponsible volunteer, and I'm just doing it all myself. But anyway, moving on. Move on, Alex, is the past. I'm not deleting any of those emails, man. That stuff's golden. Even if we don't agree with everything and I got an attitude about some shit, there is brilliance in other people, even if there's issues that are still unresolved, which I said. I'm a man enough to go, this is smart, this is smart. Oh, you're good there, but still work on these blind spots with empathy here over these issues that I care about. But over here, good stuff, guy. We already have a gold star rating, but we still have some unresolved issues over here regarding empathy, regarding the war. But over here in Portland, and talking about that, good job, 4 stars, but we've got some still missing stuff with, the last 20 years and the wars and stuff. We need to really work on that and heal that. But all this in Portland, pointing the finger at that's easy. That's easy, but the hard stuff is to go. See, Adam Kokesh, who served overseas, was so perturbed when I was in his presence that I was convinced, just so you know, that he, so if I'm willing to judge someone else, why should I be angry if some woman or man thinks I'm Nephilim? I thought Adam Kokesh was hosting a spirit, just so you know. But I'm convinced of that. You know what I mean? I don't think I am. And if I do, it's minor, and we all got spiritual energies that flow through us. We're all conduits, guys. Hate to break it to you. That doesn't mean that I'm encouraging a seance, but, I don't encourage necromancy, just so you know, but if there are super powerful spirits coming through once in a while, like messages from grandma, grandpa, messages from the dead, messages from Matthew Stein. This is Alex. Don't you forget about me. Don't. And I go, yes, Matthew Stein. Okay, I'm going to go and listen to this part. I'm going to transcribe this about what you said about the grid, and I'm going to put it in that. And then everybody that went to Coast, of the 1,000 people that clicked, read, and connected with the spirit of Matthew Stein, his words lived on. So yes, I'm not a person like, I Charlie Molly, although I want the Molly, but I don't go Molly. We got to watch that clip from Indiana Jones. Bring it up, Alex. Bring it up. Get to it. Did we already watch the clip from Indiana Jones where the little Asian kid's like, Dr. Jones, and he hurts his feelings. And then when he hurts his feelings, Dr. Jones wakes up and he goes, I'm good, kid, I'm good. And then he kicks the towelhead, no offense, the bad guy's ass. The Hindu extremists is what they are. And then he saves the white lady from the fire, The fire! Doc in the fire. Into the fire! I'm like, I am literally your 80s head. Folks, I have what it takes to even host a show. You know this, right? Beyond Conspiracy Theory. I could host a 1980s national MTV cable show. You can transport me to a New York studio in 1985, and I right now have the power to host one of the top shows in the 1980s. Me, right now. I'm doing a bolo flex in Double Impact. I'm going to do that later for you. I'm going to do but I got to hit the real weights for that. Push-ups ain't going to cut it. Plus, we got to actually start taking the protein powder. And for those of you that are like bodybuilders that are watching, if there's any, what would you say I should take other than just train and not eat enough? Because I eat too much carbs, and I need to up the protein. And even though I eat pork once in a while, I'm going to take the halal meat because it doesn't have hormones. It's not for religious reasons. It's that I got a source now for halal meat. And it's not just for Jews and Arabs, guys. So this is crappy protein powder. But I'm thinking about the creatine and the pre-workout. So I noticed Target was pushing the pre-workout and the creatine and the protein powder as like the triad. I am not Illuminati, but this has been used, just so you know, by AA, and this has a spiritual meaning. This is not just Illuminati, pyramid power. So this is going to be a gift. This is going to be a gift, and it has this protective energy in the purple, the violet, that was put in. In fact, I just want to keep this and be greedy. No, this is mine. But no, there's significance to this, and it's my way of, I guess, not saying sorry, but trying to do something positive after using words that could have been deemed hurtful to people that brought me into this world. So that's for her. She can have that gift. And if she doesn't want it, she can send it back. And there's going to be books coming to her and others. No more Hallmark cards with nothing in it. And if I don't send something on the birthday on the date, then maybe there'll be something a week later because I am late for things. By the way, what day is it? Is it Thursday? I literally find myself going, what day is it? I may be doing an interview with Aaron France again tomorrow night, but I told the guy, because I missed 2 weeks ago, if you and I agree to do an interview or meet up, you have my contact info, email or phone, you need to contact me in advance. And I'm not mad that nobody's called me on the voicemail, but say you did contact me, I don't see any sign of it. I'm not mad. I'm totally fine with I'd rather not be contacted and be bothered, because like I said, there was annoying things before. And it's cool if you come in when you're drunk. Once we establish, though, deeper connections, then we're cool like that. We have to be cool at a certain level to where you can make like jokes. And some white folks thought they could be friendly with me and make jokes about me being like a terrorist or something before we became bros. And you can't jab at me in like a Ryan McPherson way till we develop like documented like mutual respect and stuff. A lot of wrestlers were angry with not only Mr. T, but the black guy that came in who was the star of No Holds Barred. But, if they're angry about that, and for good reason, right, the whole fake tough guy thing, No Holds Barred. How about they look in the mirror? Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick, although they're the charismatic kind. But the people, I think not only is current wrestling low life, so are the people that watch it. There's nothing normal about watching like wrestling after like the 90s. It's one thing if you're curious and you want to watch Billy Jack Haynes get back in the ring, or the drunk Jake the Snake with some lower wrestling outlet with like 15 people, crawling on his belly. Oh, give me another drink. Like that stuff is golden YouTube material. People trying to bring back Portland wrestling, which has failed over and over because the solar cycle changed, baby. Once that solar cycle passed the Desert Storm early 90s period, it went down, and the WE was rising, and they were taking over territories. And by the way, psychically speaking, I've tapped into dead wrestler energy too. Maybe that's why I was talking about the Hitman theories of the WE. Ooh. Also, I was never curious to learn about, the some of the other wrestling outlets other than the WE, which history is now becoming aware of. Not just Portland wrestling, but there are other places in America. And then you have like a movie now about wrestling, not the wrestler, but about the Eric family. And then I just started binge watching like all these documentaries about it because there was a movie about them. And then because what I do is I watch movies or documentaries about wrestlers, and from a psychic perspective, intuition, I see the reality of the situation. Yeah, there's some scary shit there with Billy Jack, and people around Billy Jack are probably scared too, or people that knew him, because he's shooting off his mouth about some big time shit, and witnessing like that train tracks. That's not normal for a guy. I heard about that guy being unstable, but I think he could be more unstable and dangerous than what even people close to him thought. And that's the scary thing about badasses and gangsters, is they'll bring people close to them because they can hit hard and shit, without realizing that maybe they're too unstable, period, to even talk to, even if they are maybe a good security guard or bouncer. Maybe you should never talk to them to begin with, because they're legitimate nutters, and they're just there to break heads. You can't really help them. You could only use them. And why would you want to use someone for somebody dirty? What type of karma does that bring? Or do you even believe in that? You see what I'm saying? There's a movie here called Heat, which I really like. I really like it. I like it because it's in the tradition of Casino and Goodfellas. Robert De Niro at his best, as opposed to Meet the Fockers. However, here we have the situation, which I talked about. You can listen to my criticism of streaming video content on Substack. I don't think that it's on YouTube. It was 3 months ago. And then I also have a criticism of porn, but I don't judge you if you watch it. It's just that I have a criticism of how dark it's getting. That's all. I don't judge you if you watch it. I have before, but I'm not going to, because I do realize that people are human. I'm human. And they've made it really hard to date with AI taking over the dating websites and when they got rid of Craigslist, they interfered with a lot of people's sex lives, and no one talked about it. The human trafficking guys is still going on. They got rid of Craigslist dating under the guise of not wanting to get sued. But in doing so and getting everybody on these dating websites, you're not meeting decent spiritual people anymore, or I'm not. I'm certainly not. And I have to go outside my audience to date. Absolutely. I already try to attract people within the audience. Conspiracy women are locked into, unfortunately, a low alien frequency. It's very unlikely that a female into conspiratorial content, and especially Caucasian, will document that she's free of the illusions of separation and does have compassion for the victims of war, specifically in Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, Palestine's different. There are white Caucasian women at Palestinian protests, but they won't acknowledge that also the Afghans have been massacred. So they can have like this double thing, stand with the Palestinians against the Israelis, but when it comes to other Middle Eastern heritage, they beat women. And even if they're not aware of it, I'm telling you, a lot of you have a thought implant, subconscious programming, which influences behavior. And excuse me if I'm not a brain scientist, but basically the frontal cortex, the decision making. If you think I need a special book to become more educated vocabulary-wise on brain activity and understanding reptilian brain from a non-David Icke perspective. Now, we can look at the David Icke perspective, and I welcome it, but I don't like David Icke and what he's done. So we don't need David Icke. We just need Sufi realities on YouTube. Here and there. Okay? We are at the 222 mark, and we are ready for another break Coming up, let's start reading a little bit from these books. Let's just go ahead and read this to honor the man that sent this. That's the third time that I've stuck my finger in here. I'm talking about a book for those listening to a podcast somewhere on space. And again, we are right now, folks, flying through space above the Earth. Okay, I am the little kid, as you can tell, in Flight of the Navigator. They picked me up in 1985 in Aurora, Oregon, right? They upgraded my DNA. They put the world's info into me. They gave me the blueprint of the Archons. He helped me. If you haven't seen Fly of the Navigator, you can watch it online. That's me, bro. My mommy took me up to Seattle, and they upgraded my DNA while they had fun with her. I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. Anyway, what I need here is a spotlight. What I need here is a reading light. I am not fully prepared for our toilets to explode with fecal matter going upwards. I mean, understand, that's going to be funky with everybody's poop going upwards. You see, I've never been a fan of this, being the grid, have everybody's poop in the same septic system so we can share. Maybe that was, though, why I did come back to the grid, so I can urinate and poop in a mainstream municipal system and then truth them through the anus. Truth them through... truth them through the root chakra as my DNA goes into the collective consciousness of the human matter, which has the ability to be composted into powerful cannabis plants. How do I know I've done it off grid? I've turned my, without you knowing, into very large cannabis plants. Here's the problem. They were male. That's the problem. But what you didn't see when I was off the grid is I did establish a healthy, safe compost system with regards to that, and caused it to, I don't know if the word is to evaporate, but break down in a natural way. And that is not against nature. Some of you have never actually camped and lived outside of society, but some of you have just seen the tweaker stuff and the way that they're doing it, and then you're brainwashed into thinking that the official septic systems is somehow healthy and in line with nature. Also, the way in which you bury the dead is unconscious, and it is a hypocritical society that says don't talk to the dead, but yet you have gravestones where people literally do go and put flowers. Why are you putting flowers on the grave? Do you think the person in the grave was alive? What? What are you doing with the grave and the flowers and stuff? Do you think the body's there? Huh? What is this, Beetlejuice? So literally, this is where I need a flashlight. I think that's important that I play Medicine Man and that I play random quotes for you from different sources of information and perspectives on the situation that we're in. I also have a variety of videos on solar flares that I have not watched yet. Some of them predicting things in the future, but it may not be based in reality. So what I'm going to do is click on a video from 1/3/2023. So we're going to go a full year ago, okay? We're just going to listen to the audio for about 5 minutes. So you can hear a voice other than mine. We're going to go at random to hear and listen.
We said everything from this physical world is the exact opposite. So the ones who live in these high penthouses, those are the pits of Jahannam. And that's why Prophet ﷺ described, don't go over 3 feet, over 3 stories. Why? Not that you're bad, but you're now entering into the abode of Jahannam. Because don't look at it as like this. In your spiritual vision, you should have seen that as actually really down. And the people whom walk low to the earth, they're actually in the penthouses of heaven. But because heaven and earth, they're upside down on this earth. Inception, I think there was a movie, Inception, where everything was flipping back and forth. And this is in our spirituality is mirroring. We go through a gate on 27, but the reality is actually 72. That's why you walk on the gate of 27. So it means when you walk low to the earth, you're reaching higher abodes in paradise. And you're from the penthouse people of paradise. And those that are striving for the penthouse on earth, they're actually moving very low. Because go and ask them what they had to do to achieve that. How many they had to destroy. How many people they had to lie and to abuse. How many people they stole from in their pursuit of that wealth, and as a result they went down. But they appear to be up on this earth. Then we talked about, because these examples in life bring it home for us, for even the children to understand. What is the Shaykh talking about? He's talking about it on and off. If anything you do in this world wants to make you feel like you're on, you're going down. And anything in this world that you can make yourself to feel like you're off, you're going up. Your elevator's going up. But then shaitan comes to trick you and say, you know what, be clever and tell the shaykh, I'm not really going up and I'm not really going down. I'm just like on this floor right now. And that's a lie too, because their science tells you what? It's gravity. Allah made this earth with a gravitational pull. And that was a great sign of the power of dunya will suck you in. There is no neutral on earth. Agnostic, whatever they want to call people who are neutral, you're not neutral. You're just going down slower. Because the gravitational pull of the material world is designed by Allah pull you. So it means what? The default is if you're not striving and fighting to go up, you are going down every day. There is no one who can say that, no, I'm sitting nice and patiently here, neither up nor down. Say, no, you're wrong. Gravity's taking you down. And if you go back and meditate over your life, today versus last year, you went down. Your choices were worse, your associations are worse. The things that you do and you think nobody sees you are worse. And everything is being observed. Every phone is observed. Every hand is observed. People are surprised if the government knows what you're doing on your phone. You don't think Allah knows? His angels know? Prophet doesn't know? Means there is no neutral. The gravity is pulling you down. So then Prophet gave to us is Jihadul Akbar. The fight against yourself means what? The one who wants their life to continuously go up. Because it's like those game shows or kid shows you watch. They put a fire and these elevators are going to the fire and you're feeling the heat and they're like trying whatever they can in the game not to go down into the slime which represents a fire. But that's real life. Your elevator is going down. And Prophet gave to us that your greatest fight is to go up, is to fight yourself. At every moment it's a fight to press the button up. It's a fight to stay quiet. It's a fight not to fight. It's really easy not to fight. Somebody wants to say something to you and you're eloquently trained, fighting very easy, right? If you're a no-mind person, poor person, you're oppressed already because you don't even know when somebody hurting you and harming you and abusing you. But if you have a mouth, you can use it, but you're pressing down. And that's all the shaitan wants. Use it, come on man. You use it, you press the button, your elevator went down. So the whole system is rigged to go down. Choices become worse, energy becomes worse. And we said before, all of a sudden you go and say, who the heck are these people on this floor? They email and say there's just like bizarre people at my work, there's bizarre people all around me. That doesn't happen randomly. We're giving you the tools to be self-aware. When a day comes and you find kind of creepy people all around you, your elevator stopped on the wrong floor. So when the person who makes jihad al-nafs fights seriously against themselves, they do their salawat, they do their prayers, they do their good deeds for young, they do good deeds at home so the family's happy. Those are immense deeds to Allah. They're helpful.
We are taking this point in time to let you know something. When he used the J word, he's talking about spirituality. I'm hitting pause and we're coming back. We're coming back. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your service to humanity. Thank you for trying to help wake up the world, sir. Okay, I've sent him a few messages. I've sent him and his staff an introduction and told them about me and my presence on the earth also, and how we have a parallel message. But I don't use the J word because I'm not a part of that culture. And I'm pretty sure this person is not Afghani in heritage. And please do not be offended by the fact that I say that he is very, very white. And the fact that he is very, very white, just like the fact that Mike Tyson is very, very black, may have a role in them having more of a pass than more ethnic Muslims speaking about the unseen forces. But let us support this man anyways, Sufi Realities, operating out of Los Angeles, and learn what he's saying. But I have demonstrated to you, without listening to that, there are people that will use the J word, J-I-H-A-D, and it is nothing to do with nothing whatsoever. And you know for a fact that you were told by media figures that are multimillionaires that there is only one version of J from those people. And that's a lie. You're a liar if that's what you're saying. There are disturbed refugees. That dude doesn't come across as a refugee. So I'm telling you, there are men like that on the earth and like me that are not a part of this female, control the women, do a bunch of drugs, blah, 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 blah. He does talk a lot about praising God, just so you know, and praying a lot. Have not seen anything about him play the none of that's going on his channel. Nor is there any, here, take that, woman, take that. None of that stuff's going on, folks. He's talking about like providing water to bombed out villages. He's not even being critical of Trump. You see what I'm saying? He's not even like being mean to you or anti-Muslim people. He's just trying to be spiritual. That man's done nothing wrong. And get this, because he doesn't deal with conspiracy theories like me, there are Christians in his comment sections that love him. He's a straight up Muslim. We can look together at his comment section and see love and light. Now, we can open up my comment section. I'm not a Muslim, and we're not going to see that Christian support for Alex Ansary. And if you don't know why, you're slower than you think, and you need to hang around because these podcasts are long for a reason. So we can look at a Zoe Ansary doing the modeling. Dun, 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 dun. Here, let's look for some Zoe Ansary XXX. I'm kidding, folks. She's a very distant relative with different Anglo background. We're pretty separated genetically, and I don't think we look alike. So let me just flush that out. I think it would be great for me to meet a non-super related half this, half that, so I don't feel like such an alien. And lots of white women that love the slurp, 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 bada bing, bada boom. Like, you want to talk about feeling like used, like you're a prostitute? Let me get my tea here. Now, you know, screw it, right? The shoe fits, wear it. I have returned. Your royal microphone is clean, Your Highness, as long as it's done with love. Now, good mood with holy basil. Bam, that's the ticket. Tangerine flavor. This is spiritual. I did not know. I did not know that shit, bro. I pulled over at the discount clothing store down the street from here. And I'm like, bro, I'm going in here where they got the teas. And I go in for the teas. And then here we go. We have good mood, holy basil, herbal supplement. And the same time period that I picked this up without noticing until just now, this second, it said holy basil. It just said good mood. I'm about to get holy basil to grow, to go with my aloe vera plants. And this, just so you know, was bought fresh for a few dollars at a nursery. And then there was some construction that was done in the area. And basically, I was freaked out that these construction guys killed my plants, basically, that were doing work. And I was like, what the hell? I didn't yell at them. I just went, But it was my fault for not protecting it. And they, not, even though they're non-white, they did not have a connection to nature just because they're not white. They're just like other people in this concrete jungle, and they don't realize they're friggin' destroying plants and don't have like the compassion or intelligence to maybe move the plants or cover them. It just, the level of stupidity that and lack of common sense that I'm seeing from people is just above and beyond. Now, do you know about relaxing yourself other than meditation? Masturbation, exercise, listening to my podcasts. So do you know about this? Tapping. Okay? Tapping to relieve anxiety and stress. Okay? You're going to have less anxiety and stress when we're away from the 7. So I figured this out. It crystallized a lot more when I moved. I'm super sensitive, or can be, under certain circumstances in an adverse way, but less now. But there could be a really adverse reaction that some of us have for a while when we go through a new moon or a full moon, based on our star sign. I'm speculating, and or other reasons, based on our health. In reality, not what a doctor says, but like the real health, spiritual health, chakra health, things of that nature. Every drug that we may be taking, whether it's legal or not, can adversely affect our energy field and can attract negative entities to us. So mainstream medicine will say, take bupropion, cannabis is horrible, it will give you psychosis, and then you take the official doctor's advice, and it's actually the opposite of what they said. And they actually introduced nightmares, introduced sickness, introduced certain things that are conducive with certain mental health labels. And so if you're smart and shit and you start experiencing certain symptoms which are not normal, you discontinue immediately what was newly introduced to your body. That's what common sense dictates. You know what I'm saying? And some say, don't you ever take a statin at all? Well, they prescribed one and I took it, and what happened? I was up for 48 hours. Then I start doing some research online, watching Dr. Berg, others. They talk about all these natural ways that the average man and woman should be taking care of themselves. Things that they should be taking. Cayenne pepper with the black pepper to activate it. Coconut oil pulling. This is not for you know what, although it works, but it's not primarily for that. And there's times in which I've had this out in my RV and people have seen it, and in Portland, and immediately they're thinking, you just sit here jerking off all day, you're not a normal person. They're not thinking this person doesn't have dental care and keeps a jar of coconut oil around him at all times so he can put it on his face. So we can, this is what you do when you don't have dental care. You put coconut oil in your mouth, and then you swish it, and you bring healing to your enamel. But not only does the mainstream media lie to you, people that are involved in the dental schools, they all think that coconut oil pulling is bad for you. They all think it's bad for you and that you shouldn't coconut oil pull. Now this is what I'm going to show you right now, because this is what I'm going to put in my car. This is a table, okay? And you've seen me use this table before, okay? And I'm going to be packing up this table and putting it in my vehicle soon and going somewhere to do a show. I'm going to be doing this show for you on this table somewhere other than this spot soon, okay? So this table... Look at it here. If you want to donate, if you want to just donate equipment to help me improve my show, there's stuff I've got to get. Now this right here, see this? This right here, now think about this. Me traveling America, and if enough of you were to give me money, I'd get a rental. I get a rental and I take a car that's not going to break down. And I would take that over my current car, a rental, if the big bucks was there, 50 a day. This can be placed in there, plus my solar panels, and I can go off-grid somewhere where I have permission to go, but I'm not going to go to barren land right now. And I can go with the Wi-Fi hotspot, or best yet, don't go with the tracking device, and go to town and upload. Don't be a social media crackhead. Output, 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 output video. Go into town like the old days of Costia. Upload at a Starbucks at maximum Wi-Fi speed. Schedule out the content so you won't ignore it all when it's uploaded at once. So video 1, video 2, video 3. Go back off grid once a week. Go back in for fruits, vegetables, fuel. Upload. Go back off grid to the mountain retreat to where we're not being tracked. So I want to have, basically at this point, I want a team of men and women with me. And basically we need a castle. That's it, bro. We're talking Lord of the Rings shit. Listen, I'm going to be cool with you, and we're going to hang out all day today, if you're cool with that. But we're not going to mince words. Folks, you're in trouble. That's what Rat said in the song. You're in trouble. By the way, I just discovered the Rat album, just so we're on the same page. This whole, but you know, we need what we need right now isn't that. So coconut oil pulling is something that you want to do in the future. Like say when the grid goes out and you can't make it to the dentist. You know, you should already be planning for these things. You know, it's not outside the realm of possibility that you're going to lose your dental care. And just so many people in America are not ready for these things. That's why this album is so good. Guess what year it came out? 1986.
Dakota. In Nebraska, local authorities overnight emergency services down. 911 outages affecting parts of multiple states and even whole city police departments. As cyber attacking remains a major concern for authorities across the country.
Rescue dispatcher 49.
Across 4 states, residents unable to reach police or ambulances, with a full statewide outage in South Dakota. In Nebraska, local authorities saying landlines were still getting through, but all carriers were down Wednesday night except for T-Mobile. The border city of Del Rio, Texas, issuing a community alert.
You may have difficulty reaching us internally, and we're having difficulty receiving 911 calls as well.
And overnight in busy Las Vegas, residents couldn't get through to 911 on cell phones or landlines for 2 hours. Law enforcement having to come up with a workaround.
They will not be able to talk to a person, but we'll get the phone number. Law enforcement agency will call them back. They will transfer that call to our cell phone, and they will then be able to talk to a live person, and we will dispatch the appropriate units.
It's unclear what caused the outages, but it comes as the Department of Homeland Security has told officials to be on the lookout for cyber threats. The government warning in the past that there's an increased risk of cyber attacks to 911 services as they move to internet-based systems. Many Americans relieved, but searching for an explanation. as services come back online this morning.
Okay, so Aaron, one of the causes may be a cyber attack. If not that, like what else could it be?
Well, at least one police department, a police department in Del Rio, Texas, is reporting that this could have something to do with the cellular system, potentially major carriers, although saying that it rather than a civic system, but you know, we need to wait and see. We're out to major carriers such as AT&T and T-Mobile. We have not heard back. It doesn't appear to be a Verizon situation. It's also potentially relating to how these calls are routed in general. But again, you're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, and it's interesting, 4 different states around the country.
Huh.
Okay, all right, Aaron, thank you so much.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Okay. So they're not saying hacking at all. They're not saying hacking. They're saying outage. It could be caused by space weather, but if we look at Houston, it's one of the 6 places that Russia's targeting, that Russia will attack. So that's a coincidence. Okay, so it was down there. Why not Miami, Florida? Why not Los Angeles? Why not Portland? And the South, from what I gather, correct me if I'm wrong, is less sensitive to the solar flares taking out the grid, you know, that southern region there, than say the North. The northern part of North America is going to be more sensitive to EMP unless the South is directly targeted. But there is a sizable population in those pockets. Okay. And then California, sizable population in Las Vegas. So it seems to be in a series of areas. And is this a sign of areas that they're going to attack? We know that China owns land in the South and Oregon. And they don't own lots of land in Colorado, but Colorado is a military target, and I suspect that Archuleta County may be a place that China may have an interest in. Let's read more about the Las Vegas outage. And we want to see what type of things are happening during these outages. But prior to this happening, I did tell you about the intuitive sense that I got that the Purge movie series, merged with the anti-white concerns, may be a part of a plot against you. Doubling down, I believe that I'm a better advisor to you than Red Ice Creations, and I won't pollute your mind with ideologies of anti-themism. He's another person that saw something in me a long time ago before he was brainwashed. That he knows who Alex Ansary is, Red Ice Creations, and they invited me on the show a long time ago. Like if that was a part of their natural demeanor, if they were always oppressed by these groups, they would have hated Muslims from the get-go and would have never done the 9/11 thing to begin with. Now, these things have happened in other places other than these areas. The verdict is 50-50. 50% of you are honest and said, I don't know. I love it when you're honest, and I'm honest with you when I don't know. The other 50% said it's not enough for your needs. What is enough for my needs? Do you know of something that is enough for my needs? To run a laptop or charge it for 2 hours. It takes 1 hour to charge. Okay, is it the model for $400? Do you know what is the solution? Because $1,000, folks, isn't going to happen. I'm only putting maybe $300 down towards this. And if I don't get this, I have to buy golf cart batteries. And I will hook them up, but I thought that I read that golf cart batteries were toxic. And so if I get the golf cart batteries, I might be able to get more juice, but it leaves a toxic gas. And I don't know if that's going to be friendly to the type of indoor environment that I have, to where it's not even really fully friendly to my cat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this and I'm going, is this what I need? The price is right, but I need somebody to like get it together and tell me what I need, because I'm not really willing. I don't feel comfortable going through the next few weeks without a battery backup. I need to know, guys, what do I need to get for my solar panels to power my computer? One of you has got to be a nerd with this stuff. Now, if you don't even message me about the solar panels tomorrow or the next couple of days, like, I'm going to be ranting about it, just so you know, in 4 days' time. We're going to be back to this conversation, and I will be screaming. I will be screaming loudly if I do not get an answer about this product. I just, transparency is awesome, bro. On that topic, okay, it does feel appropriate to go there. Now that we've covered this, and we are acknowledging that the sky is not falling, and we are acknowledging that there may be solar storms, okay, I have one question for you. Can you feel it? Can you feel the inspiration? Can you feel the sensitivity to the grid? Okay, so let's say the 9/11 system went down, and let's say we're not going to cry about it. This is how we're going to do it. What's the solution? Good man power. Good man supremacy, regardless of the race. good woman, good man supremacy, regardless of the race. You can do it. We don't have to cry because the 9/11 system went down, but it's totally rational for me to go, why not Portland? Why not New York? Why not Europe? Why America? Why Vegas?
In the beginning,
why
the
Houston?
land was pure. Even in the early morning light, you could see the beauty in the forms of nature. Soon men and women of every color and shape would be here too. And they would find it all too easy sometimes not to see the colors and to ignore the beauty in each other. But they would never lose sight of the dream of a better world that they could unite and build together in triumph.
This guy was waking from a trance. This guy was possessed. This guy woke him from a trance, dude. This guy whooped him. See, I've been having visions of this shit. When you whoop a man's ass, heal him with your hands after you knock him out. Help him after you defeat that man. But you know, tell you what? You don't have to be a large black man to take out a demon possessed by hatred. So this is still playing into that archetype of the large black man savior. What would really be amazing is people seeing like a guy like me on video dealing with someone far larger. Here's this solar energy here in this music video. Can you feel it? This is also something that is from my childhood. All these women are set up to be trafficked with their cell phone relationship replacing men and giving them pleasure. Now that we men don't give them pleasure and just annoy them. If women like me, they would say so. You can have your sciences, you can have your homes, you can have your smart grid, but what are you going to do when the troops arrive and the grid goes out? You'll be running to any man that'll protect you. Is that what you want? Just any man that'll protect you? Don't you want the good man, though? Because if any man that'll protect you, he's going to ask for that booty. A car plowed into a group standing on the sidewalk. Solar flares. Geomagnetic storms. Wow. What? A 34-pound boulder on a woman's head moments after being released. Cannot be prosecuted. Oh my God. I'm so ashamed of those of you in Oregon that haven't been supporting me for backing you. You're horrible, horrible people. If you've ever sent an email that was rude or pointing against my content, when I've been trying to tell you about this stuff. Here we go. U.S. may freeze bank withdrawals as currency fear rises. So finishing what I was saying earlier, the Sufi Realities channel has warned that our banks are going away and our money's going away and cannibalism is coming. And I warned you the same thing. And with that, there'll be rape. There'll be rape and cannibalism merge into one. I'm sorry, but you have plenty of horror movies that some of you, or society, your kids, your mom or dad are addicted to. Yeah. So horrible. So horrible what's happening. So horrible so many cops have been led to evil that they've set up innocent people and they've let criminals out of jail. There's so many ways I wish I could help your society right now, but all I feel is your cold hand as if you're not even there. It's always the same person that sends a message and email. It's never anyone but him. And you as an audience were never more unactive with regards to me. You always sent emails in the past when I said I wanted you to donate. You mostly always donated in the past. It's now that this weird energy has stepped in. That right there that you're hearing, that sound. Do you hear that? I didn't hit play on anything. That could have been, it's autoplay. The autoplay is just a mind of its own. I have not heard this song by Donna Summer. We'll give it a whirl. What do you got for us, Donna? Donna's talking to us from the grave. Do not yet recall this, but if it's being auto-suggested, we have to assume it's popular. I don't know, man. Spooker in a haunted house, if you ask my opinion. So, anyways, thought I would test this out. I think this is appropriate for you as a male because you as a male might be able to strike really hard and you don't want to kill someone and cause permanent injury. This is hard enough to maybe do a little neutral, whack, slap, slap, not boom, but warning strike. Do you want to progress with this? No, dude, you just been whacked. And so this has a zing to it, but when it causes the same amount of devastation as, say, knucks to the forehead, which could cause brain damage. You want to use as little force as possible, but you're authorized to do a smash to the face if someone's trying to carjack you. Again, there's so much movies in our society that has glamorized the bad boy behavior. Now, Rising Sun in the West has a lot of spiritual gnosis. You just heard the man speak for 10 minutes, but he's also an author, and this book was $45. Okay, I'm going to make it my life goal to also have books of this thickness with my own spiritual gnosis. It's going to happen. Okay, so let's do this. One of the things that stands out to me is he talks about the entity or shaitan hitting us from the 6 points. What's interesting is that when we look at hidden messages in water, there's 6 points to it. And so he's talking about getting hit from the 6 points above and below. And he also talks about the Merkaba meditation in his books. And he also has tons of free meditation information on his websites. And I've never met Muslims in a meditation. You know, mostly they're just in the, you know, and that's as far as it goes. And very little exposure of the archons or jinn or any, wow, this guy Ansary, he's talking about the jinn, but he calls it the archons. How cute. And his name's Ansary. So Desert Fox, others, if you want to inform me of Muslims that like me as I am, not you should support the Taliban. I mean, what type of government intelligence agency behavior is that shit? That's not a good human that would ever try to dupe an answer into thinking the T-word folks are, yay, okay, go USA. Like, seriously, folks, take accountability for your stupidity. When you're puking and shitting out of your mouth and going, Allah Akbar, I've got the answers. Marijuana should be illegal. Women should be, what? Women should be what? No. Women should be cherished and protected. They bring our people into the planet. Now, if we want to talk about submissiveness, yeah, I think women should be submissive to God, to good things, to good institutions. Women are going to fight submissiveness tooth and nail to fight anyone trying to free them from submissiveness to the devil. Now, there is a very important scene in the movie Legend with Tom Cruise to where the devil takes the woman, puts her in the black clothing, although the woman in the movie, though, is pretending to be with the devil. She's actually plotting against the devil the whole time. But what does he do to try to entrap her? And what do they do to Indiana Jones to try to entrap him? Let's just go there. They get him to drink. Okay? And then you have that little kid that comes in and hurts him in the same way that I hurt you. I hurt your feelings and shit. I hurt your feelings and shit when I criticize wars and people that kill people that look like me. I hurt your feelings and shit, which is so fucking childish. Only a child would have their feelings hurt for me criticizing people that went overseas. That's just nuttier than a fruitcake bar. You need to have like the gusto and the manliness and the pecs like a bodybuilder. I'm a man. You need to be like man enough to accept my fury and rage in the military-industrial complex. Not only should you support it, you should applaud it, you should download it, and you should broadcast it from your car in Portland, Oregon if you like do something other than DryMet. You should have a megaphone that has an MP3 player attached to it, and you should be driving around Portland with a big old shit-eating grin on your face full of 1,1 THC and alcohol if you really want to go that route, or MDMA, broadcasting the best of AA, not Ryan, Ground Zero Radio, AA through a loudspeaker warning about what is to come. It's just my recommendation for you. So what do we tag this? Indiana Jones, Doom, possession scene. Let's see if possession scene. And it's amazing how many times I will just guess, yeah, that will be appropriate. It's amazing how many times I guess what is the appropriate verbiage to use to plug in. And he said I got to sit through a full 15 seconds for a video. And I don't think they put advertisements back on my video. But again, Shaitan attacks us from the 6 points. So shield your top, shield your bottom, right? You know what I mean? Your bottom. Below your feet, above your feet. Some people recommend putting salt, literal salt, in your shoes and socks when you walk on the concrete to protect yourself from entities. But of course, you're smart, right? And you don't need Alex Ansary to tell you that, because you already knew this, because you're smart and so. All right, mudrum smotherum. Mudum smotherum, right? Bringing it up. Now look, he's about to be rude and hurt their feelings, and they're about to unsubscribe. He's telling them the truth and hurting their feelings and stuff. He's not stroking their ego going, wow, oh, so thank you for your email. He's hurting their feelings. But what is he doing by hurting their feelings? He's trying to get the demon out. Yeah, I don't think any of you are pure. Things would be very different between us if there was purity. I don't think some people know what purity is because you've been under the spell so long. You've never met a soul like me. Prove it. Prove you've met a soul like me in Portland or LA. Tell me what their name is and I'll watch their videos. No, that you've met them and that you've talked to them. Not talking about someone that talked to you, that replied to your email. Tell me. So now he fights back. When are you going to fight back for me? It's never been demonstrated. When are you going to be like Dr. Jones? When are you going to tell Pal's Books in Portland, Oregon about my book and then tell me that you did that? When are you going to record the conversation of the zombie in Portland, Oregon, treating you with apathy with the audio recorder that I told you to buy for $40 off Best Buy? Because you got the money from the government or whatever. If you want to heal the past from the wars, you must fight like him and be healed from me hurting your feelings. You must turn into Indiana Jones. This is your role. I'm the little boy. You want to treat me like a little boy? I'll be a little boy. But this little boy is going to do something to you. This little boy is going to hurt your feelings. And then you're going to tell me that you're all right. You're going to tell me at some point that you get me. You're going to tell me at some point that you're in this fight. You're going to tell me at some point you're not alone anymore. You're going to tell me that you're not going to allow me to be homeless. You're going to pull an Indiana Jones now in the name of Jesus. Or it's possible that what I'm saying has no power over you. But this has to happen. You have to be burned. Go ahead and unsubscribe. We have to stop the woman, the white woman, and the other women from being sacrificed and being thrown into the fuck pit. No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to white knight her even if she thinks I'm a RAPER by trying to help her. Doesn't matter. I'm doing it for her kids anyways and her husband because I'm a good guy. Now I'm waiting for you to say that. I'm waiting for you to say that. So I'm currently only in contact with Gypsy Fox. He's the only guy that I know that's mostly all right, and he called for the vax to die. But because he's a nice guy and has a spiritual side to him, he can call for the vax to die, which is some relatives, and I can forgive him because I understand that he has a certain conspiracy understanding, and we can agree to disagree, but he overall is a good guy, even if I disagree with some of his beliefs. Ultimately, when he says to me, I'm all right, kid, I actually believe him because he never was involved in a plot to harm my people. Not once. Not once. But it's because of that he doesn't understand the mind of a veteran. A veteran, a lot of them, they do recognize that I do look like some of those people overseas, and some of them aren't forthright, that there are different genetics. And some of them, just don't realize that there's people that are whitish looking or Italiano looking that are, so just because somebody served overseas doesn't mean they know anything about Afghan culture or history or non-radical Afghans. Like if they were a part of a system that used the Taliban as the excuse to kill innocent people, they probably aren't very schooled in the peaceful side of Islam, or the Afghan people like my father's family, and probably don't care very much about them, even if we do see over and over photographs of U.S. veterans holding hands with and with their arms around Afghanis. That's just insulting and spits in my face. Like, if you're willing to have your arm around them, you should be able to have your picture taken with me. And you should be able to tell your girlfriend about me and her not being a demon possessed or like a witch. There should be women in your life that are not witches. If our world is becoming conscious, that go, oh, hell yeah, Alex Ansary is the shit. And if I wasn't with you, I'd have a baby with him, regardless of the fact that his DNA is demonized. It doesn't mean that I have to have a baby with you. It's that if you won't admit that you see me as an untouchable, like we're in an Indian caste system, don't act like you're better than the East Indians. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to treat me like it's okay for me to be in this caste system, then don't act like you're better than the foreigners that are part of these barbaric systems. Though I need to see people like you turn into the Incredible Hulk and start to etherically kick the ass of the archons that put voices in your head. Not only do I have to edit my own content and share my own content and moderate my own comments if I have them and field emails, I have to be the person with the creative. And so basically I am like lower than a dishwasher, basically, if we were talking about restaurant. You'd be like the busser, the tall white busser who's make the $400 a day or however much you make a month. And I'm the guy in the back with the dishes doing the real work to make sure, and without the dishwasher, nothing happens in the restaurant. But how much does the dishwasher make? But the dishwasher is never valuable unless it's like a union pay, right? You're talking to a guy that was rejected as a dishwasher from the Three Chicks and a Hippie restaurant in Bagosa. How many of you ever called Bagosa to go, why would you not hire Alex Ansary, this brilliant mind? We know that you denied him dishwashing jobs in Bagosa Springs, yet this guy warned you about China. Which one of you is going to pick up the phone, go to Google like the good stalker that you are, and do something good with your stalking and intelligence gathering? And pick up the phone and go, Alex Ansary tried to work for you, and then you called him off? Dude, do you know he was on Coast to Coast? Bitch! Right? That's how you do it. That's how you show that you're a man with testicles. Everything that I'm doing is fucking awesome. Everything. Showing up every day, giving you this information, predicting things before it happens. The great revealing. I am the great revealer of the destroyer consciousness. This is the apocalypse. Giddy up. Kramer style in Seinfeld. Giddy up. Giddy up. If you're living in a certain place on the West Coast, then yeah, yeah, the end of your world absolutely could come, honey. Sir, dude, you know, your college education, your job, every fucking thing could be gone tomorrow. And they're going to send in stormtroops after us. That's not the end of the world. Was it the end of the world in Afghanistan on December 25th, 1979? On average, 2 months before I popped out of the human vagina and came into this portal of hell. I'm ready for another song. Okay. Full moons. Oh, we're coming up on a full moon. Ooh. We're coming up on a full moon, 4/23. And like I said, it's the 7 days. It's the 3.5 days, 3.5, eh? Prior to the full moon, or the 3 days. Or let's just go 3.33, 3.3, or 33, a third, 333. Before the full moon and new moon, and after. So, at one point, I was like, psychic attacks and nastiness from the human audience are higher during new moon and full moon, but higher when I was off grid. Things are overall way less nasty to me since I'm bathing regularly, engaging in crystal meditations, and getting out more and talking to real people outside of YouTube in the flesh that look me in the eyeball. I did not have any humans to look me in the eyeball. Except you and your judgment and your lack of empathy and your take energy. You'll give me a like at most, but you won't show up in the emails because you're afraid. Or you think that I need to be punished. It's called the silent treatment. Google it. You're giving me the silent treatment. If you can't show up with a supportive email and you're taking through likes, I don't approve of you. So, Allah only asking to be nothing. I know you guys are offended by it, but I'm not. Okay, I know you guys sometimes want to push the other names of God, but yet followers of those names of God kill my people, and you think you're not disrespecting me? I told you I'm not from Israel, dude. I'm not from Israel. So the Israel gods aren't my gods, guy. Israel's not my best buddy right now, nor anybody into Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit they're doing in Israel is not so awesome, you know? So it's about being nothing to be nothing to be nothing to be nothing to be nothing. And I'm all about being nothing, but I actually also believe I'm something in a world that says I'm nothing. So I'm all about, like, the meditative be nothing, om, 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 om. But this dude sure thinks he's something with all his bugs. He doesn't literally look in the mirror and go, you're nothing, you're nothing. He surely looks in the mirror and go, man, you are the shit. So it's one thing to say it. The wise man is the one who knows he knows nothing, but you should attempt to know something, right? You want to be wise and go, I don't know shit, but I'd like to know. I'd like to be somebody. How about that special lecture from Lean On Me? Repeat after me, boys, when he catches them smoking in the restroom. I am somebody. Now, none of you, for whatever reason, has shown up from the Gnostic worldview. You know, God is Sophia. The devil is the Yaldabaoth. There have been Gnostics that come and go, but because some of them think that they can be compatible with right-wing ideology because they're running from the true Christ, they find themselves in my content when they see the Gnostic word and they're like, oh my God, you don't worship Trump and Putin? Oh my God, unsub, I'm Gnostic and I love these men. So, you know, just avoiding Orthodox Christianity and Orthodox candidates and thinking that you can schlob the knob of Putin and Trump and be in line with the divine light, you know, isn't true gnosis. True gnosis would not be obsessed with the illusions of separation. So, like, if Trump says, for example, ban them all, and you want to obviously not be harmed by terrorists and whatnot, you might be like, okay, but what do we do? Do we continue to demonize them? Ban them all? Do we ban them all and put them into certain zones where they will be bombed? What do we do then? Do we go along with fake news that demonizes people so no one wants them around? Do we avoid repenting in the name of Jesus Christ if we're Christians? Do we avoid repenting of sharing fake news about Syrian refugees that never attacked America? And then, because here's the thing. Trump wants to take credit and say nothing happened on my watch. Bro, Trump, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys didn't ban the Muslims because there was backlash. So you didn't, no, it was about banning the Muslims, not the radicals. Don't fuck with me, fuckface. The thing was, when it came out, ban all of them. It wasn't ban the radicals. No, don't fuck with me. I got the tapes and receipts. Alex Jones backed them up too. It was ban the Muslims in general, not ban the radicals. It was ban the Muslims. So do you want people to say ban the Christians? Yes or no? Do you want China and Russia, when they invade America, to say put the Christians in camps? You're saying no, and I'm saying fuck no too. Why would you ever go along with Trump saying ban the Muslims in a general area while you added in, oh no, he just means the radicals, the terrorists. The other ones are fine. A lot of you went along with the lie that all these people want to commit jihad, and you're going along with the lie that how did Trump stop, though? They're putting out fake news just so you know that there's roundups and people being disappeared by the government, and that's keeping us safe from terrorists. Don't you people get it that this is straight V for Vendetta? Don't you get that? Listen, don't you understand that famous scene in V for Vendetta is basically Tucker Carlson? Don't you understand that if you're a fan of V for Vendetta, the movie, and you're a fan of Tucker Carlson, that you are the ultimate hypocrite that has ever been reincarnated into the earth plane of existence? You are the champion of hypocrisy. If you're a Trump fan and you're a V for Vendetta fan, and you don't recognize like that frequency, let's go V for Vendetta. Not okay. So I don't know how much I lost there in the recording, but we are about to watch a clip here, and I did a little bit of a preliminary on this clip, and now I can see that this is the V for Vendetta shower scene, and so it's very important that people understand that it is hypocritical. Repeat myself briefly, and we'll go to the books. It is hypocritical for people to be a fan of V for Vendetta, which promotes violence against women and a woman being thrown in a jail cell, than to just project onto the Islamic world when it comes to violence against women. What I witnessed in V for Vendetta is almost terrorist-like activity, which was promoted for the masses from a Warner Brothers film. And your society is so kinky and twisted with Call of Duty and porno and whatnot. You're so dumbed down, you don't get it. Everything about your society promotes rape, destruction, murder, and racism. Everything. Everything about this energy I feel from you is silence, it's apathy. There's only one of you sending links and whatnot, and it always seems to be a negative exchange that today wasn't good enough, get better next day. It is good enough, dude. It's 6 out of 5 stars. The only thing that's going to heal this angst is if I get on the radio, and you in that place in your city should be contacting program directors. I'm not asking you for donations and for you to watch silently with your girlfriend my content. I'm asking each and every one of the 100 viewers watching this today to take the link of this video to a program director in New York City and say this guy is ready to go to work. He has what it takes. And the guys you have on the air suck ass and balls. And I'll never listen to your station again. Contact Clyde Lewis and his boss and say, this is the shit. You people should be working at McDonald's because that's the real frequency you're at. You don't deserve to be on the radio in the last days. Tell him that.
Not a man. What is it? A man does not wear a mask. What is it? A man does not threaten innocent civilians.
So it was really Bill O'Reilly that this scene reminded me of.
A goddamn coward.
There will be no negotiation, Roger. When I arrive in the morning, the Paddy will be gone. I'm looking at the tape right now, and he has no idea how to like me. My nose looks like Big fucking Ben. This is an evening song. England prevails because I say it does. And so does every lazy nail, demagogue, spouting
Damn Muslims. Invasion. White genocide. Great replacement theory. Tucker Carlson, you're a victim. You're a victim, white man, with 2 million viewers. You're a victim, white man, with 3 million viewers and $1 million house. Oh, such a victim. Oh, the immigrants are so coming for you. And I'm not promoting this. But you see how Hollywood is promoting this. Hollywood is promoting violence. And it's the same system behind Hollywood that's promoting the revolutions and Alex Jones. They put Alex Jones in a Hollywood movie. You knew this, right? No, you knew this, right? They promote violence, and you guys eat it up because you're a violent, wicked society. And there's going to be moments where I talk where I'm not going to pretend you're a conscious little teapot. Not if you can't show up in my inbox and go, bro, I'm with you. You did in the beginning when I got back 6 months ago. Then you bailed on me when I took the gloves off and showed you my teeth that grew in the last 4 years. Something happened, and you're gone. In fact, yes. Yes. All right, so get lots of requests for the Debbie Gibson. Yes. Less corrupted. People of my mother's heritage, you are so sexy to me, and I wish you were not driven into extinction. I want to hold your hand. I want to hear your voice. You're expected to go to a university for 6 years before you even get the opportunity to have an income to have, say, a large house. I'm not asking for much for you to show that you're able to build the prerequisite. Now, some of you were given 20 years. Many of you were given 20 years to get to know me, whether it be in Portland, who's inconsistent along with the rest, that can only send an email or support or a like when you're feeling a certain moon cycle or a buzz or that wine or whatever you drink is working for you. I'm not convinced you're actually spiritual women, even if you're members here. Not if you threw me away and walked away for 10 years and still won't write that letter. Why? You abandoned me because you know I know the truth because I'm a psychic. Unless you have some coveted, really deep, negative attitudes about me that you have not yet healed in. Really negative, deep-seated attitudes about me that you have not yet healed in. What happened to this sweet little boy? His mom and his dad. But Mark Passio, the way you just rant about people that have been abused by their parents makes me sick. You ought to be healing people. Just because your mom damaged you and you don't talk about your dad. Do you even have a dad? Let me guess, your mom's a virgin? Psh, whatever, Satan boy. They really hurt my mom to such an extreme extent, like the other people. I think she's afraid of the devil of this world. There's no rational way that she would not be supporting her little baby boy, who she took to many new ways. That's just horrific. It's because of her. No. She's not to blame for shit. God bless her soul. God bless me for being psychic, and God bless non-white women that have been in my life to give me some insight into what they think is going on with women of my own heritage on both sides. And why in some cases it's taken, in some situations, women outside of my own heritage to see something in me, but maybe not very much, but for a while. And that's happened a few times. Or men not of my heritage. Whereas the men of my heritage, they look at me and it's like, oh my God, bro, I don't know what you're smoking, bro, but I'm afraid you're going to rub off some mental illness. No. I'm going to rub off the truth and the entity that's corded to you that you have not yet cleared. Because according to this guy and others, everybody's born with a jinn or an archon or an alien. You dig? All y'all have the potential to be hearing voices in your head that are not your own, that are straight up not your government. And so when are some of you going to realize that when you dissed me via email, that you were dissing me, that you were completely ignoring a gold mine of information that I'm giving to you for free that can say, what am I doing? What's my agenda? Do I really need to have a baby with you? Like, what's the agenda? Do I really need you in my security team or off-grid? No, I'm not trying to get you in my cult. I don't have a cult, but I am my own Messiah. You're your own Messiah. Now, that is a good picture, though. That boy looks generally happy to be alive, which I don't understand. That poor thing looks happy to be there, looks happy to see his dad. That boy looks completely like unprepared to deal with what's to come at him. Like, just rape my mind one more time. Like completely naive, like smiling, like, yeah, smile till your dad like kicks your ass in the ground and your mom nor your mom's boyfriend comes to your aid like a superhero for some odd reason that's not yet been explained to this day. While your mom and her friend never came to your aid when your dad kicked your fucking head in. It just doesn't make sense. If they're so badass, if they're so good, if they're so spiritual, why weren't they there for you when your dad led you down a certain... Under the understanding and many realities of the authority of 9, and anybody can Google 9, the power of 9 that multiplied by any number will take itself back to 9. And multiplication in spirituality is a annihilation. Worshipness is always for God. I'll say God instead of the A word, which might offend some of you, due to unfortunate programming of this genocidal culture. So I'll appease your programming of this culture. Even if you think you're free of that programming, nice try. I know the truth, don't I? So worshipness is always for God. I'll self-censor the book to appease you. For God. Have any of you gone to the channel yet and told him that I sent you? Yeah, tell me when you get on that. Because if you went overseas and you murdered in the name of kill the Muslims, right, you're not getting access to me getting back to you ever again until you start moving into action. I made the mistake of talking to past veterans, and I've got like a long list of dudes that burned me that went overseas. It's a list. There has not been a historical veteran ever that did anything for me to help me. That generally is praying for me or likes me in the name of Christ. There's an antichrist energy there. Who of you comes in the name of Jesus Christ? That's a veteran. That says Afghan lives matter. That understands the racism that you white Portlanders that are taller than me, that are preferred for jobs have put me through. Now, until you acknowledge that specific statement, right? I will have nothing to do with Portland and I will never return to your cesspool. And I don't care. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. And this is what the anger does to a little boy like this. True's turned into a man. I won't curse you, Portland. But that's the type of stuff that happens when you hurt a man. And this is why you're going to deal with violent people in the future that I can't protect you from. You made your bed, sleep in it. You want to create these weapons of mass destruction in your own communities? Now I talk to you friggin' refugees. Not that you're listening. But maybe you'll listen in the future. And you sit here and you come here with your hijabs. And you're told over and over, bro, even though I'm not Muslim, I read this book from Sufi Realities. Then you give me that fucking stupid look when I say Sufi. Because you're under that brainwash, like if you want to do the kung fu thing, go, whoa, we can do some sparring, bro. But just a, and as soon as I did that, I get these weird emails from someone using Arabic language commanding me to become homeless and live out of my car somewhere. Go back to where you came from, inward boy, using Arabic language, just completely batshit what's been happening to human society. And everything will be documented. The fact that there is a lack of love and there's no one blessing me in the name of Jesus Christ either in the emails. No one is speaking positively of Jesus Christ. They'll talk about these scary deities that I'm convinced are not of the Lord. And I told you that 10 years ago. Don't ask me to change my religious views. Oh, the A-man liked my finger pointing. I've had people tell me don't point. And A-man's like, the way you point, bro. But now it's like, I've got coffee. I've got coffee that's got wings. Okay, so the power of 9, because I'm a man. I'm a real man. And I have to be in control of my life. I cannot have a woman in control of the situation. I cannot have a woman in control of my preparedness plan, leading me to my next point. And I'm in the mood for thriller. If you're a woman and you're serious about prepping, good for you. But prepping by itself does fall into the reptilian brain. I remember Laura Spitzy, the blonde hybrid-looking woman that had an obsession with me that I posted and done deleted, the image of her, who put me in Portlandia, the fake Portlandia before the real Portlandia came out. How that happened, I don't know. But she would say to me early on, before I became like survivalist, why can't you become a survivalist? Other people would come to my meetups who threw a $500 coin at me who was so rich. And then he's judged me for drinking when he's drinking and say, you shouldn't drink when they drink. So a lot of men will do that. They'll tell me not to drink when drinking is totally part. Are you calling the bars and telling them not to drink? Are you calling the strip clubs and calling them human traffickers? Until you can prove to me you call the strip clubs, I know you're treating me with racism when you're having a natural disposition to see me as a bad guy for going to a club owned by white men and staffed by white dancers. So if you're going to call the short brown man going to the strip club participating in human, or a hypocrite because I'm willing to see a naked female and give her money and look her in the eyes instead of be a vampire on a porn website when not even given $1 to a woman who's been digitized in hell, scumbag. Now, some of you are so twisted, you have never heard or been from a city like Portland that respects the arts, to where at some point in schools there was such a thing as nude modeling and drawings, where naked women would go to a school and the naked body would be looked at, and no one said that was human trafficking. So if you think that it's rape and negative human trafficking to visually look at a naked torso or naked breasts, you are a demon scum, Hitler-worshipping psychopath. And that's why the garbly-goo comes out of your mouth. That's there to hurt someone. And this is why you are losing your nation. But there's nothing spiritual about certain states. There's nothing spiritual about people in certain regions on the earth. Which is why I'm realistically terrified to be here. And I'm not ever going to be happy that I'm gone. I know Pagosa sucks, and I know that place is taken over by meth heads, but it doesn't make it right what y'all did. Just because the internet exists and you can harm someone with brass knuckles and you can go buy a gun doesn't mean that you should walk into a store and shoot somebody, fucker. And what's been happening is you guys are walking around shooting people in the head with bad shit on the internet and software programs. Is what you're doing. You're walking around shooting people, assassinating characters, and going, yeah, I didn't do nothing wrong. And then you snap back at someone if they try to assert themselves. You're lost. I hate your planet. I hate you. And I know when I am hated, When people go, and I love you, I want to come up and visit your land and make a documentary with you about World War III. MFer, you don't even believe in the year 2017 or 2018 that I knew jack about World War III. You said on video World War III would never happen on that brief moment in which I looked at your channel. And you're like, World War III will never happen because you know on the back end that there's this Illuminati New World Order thing. But instead of you having the Brainiac thing going, oh, it's mutual assured destruction. Oh. But eventually you did have that light bulb, but like my mummy, you wouldn't come to me like a good adult and go, Alex, even though we had our negative differences and I treated you like a dumb fuck who doesn't have any education, talk smack to you with vocabulary to sound smart to you when I'm a retard. We need to have some healing. You were right about some of that stuff with regards to China. Because you can't say that literally with intelligence, multi-paragraph like an author in the same way that you troll and you do dark things. You can't apply that to the light and do something positive to boost someone's self-esteem. Everything's always about cutting away at someone. You're no good. You're not worthy. To mindfuck someone's brain so they believe it themselves. And if you get your way, they kill themselves. And that right there is toxic. I think that we've covered a very sizable amount of content today. We have the earlier video too. We have lots of videos to go to. And then I'm also taking some dopamine powder, just so you know, to boost my mood. I don't know how good it is. But yeah, I don't think that I should be doing videos and videos all day long. I'll do the long video, watch it, which will take me all day because I don't have editors. Then there's going to be maybe the news video. Hear this? It's recommended to take a teaspoon of this to boost your mood, and this comes from India. So there's a lot of awesome shit, guys, from India, turmeric, Indian food. But the modern Indian people that are relocating to parts of America, they're on the dark side. You have been raised by us and you know how to be independent. You're not going to go out and start something and every day come back to this shake and say, give me $5. Can I have $10 now? Can I have this? They say, wait, that is what the kids did. The man whom the shake raised, they say to him, you are now ready. You go and now propagate your face. And whomever sees your face will come to that guidance. You have your own phone number. You have your own website. You have your own. Be independent and you will be given by prophet a means in which to reach people. And that is the Ramah of, and I'll use the word that you will be okay with, God. Okay. Why the different schools of thought? Based on where they were, it was mercy from God. If everybody had to have the something of Egypt, but they may be in the subcontinent and things were not relevant to them. In the future, I'm going to go over Dion Fortune's Magical Battle of Britain. No, we're doing that now. Okay. So, what I'm going to do for you now that we've covered this, and we covered the fact that we're getting closer to major world events, we're going into here. This would be a good time to, little by little, we're only going to do this for a few minutes. So, preliminary meditation, of course, is things that I've already talked to you about. It would be deep breathing, things of that nature. Alrighty. Good. Now, for this stage of today's podcast, we need to bring in the proper music. So we'll go now. And we'll just rock this on the background, just some light. All right. So we're going to conclude today on the symbol. This is our symbol. And in the future, there'll be other symbols that I draw, and we will collectively connect with the symbol. So every day at OTB TV, we bring in a little bit of Dion. Lighting a candle for Dion now, but not literally in spirit. Centering now with a deep breath. We're going to leave you today on a positive, empowered note. We're going to start slow, guys. This is from January 1940 during Solar Maximum from the Magical Battle of Britain. Ask me for a copy of it. In order to guard against any such subtle influencing, let us meditate upon angelic presences, red-robed and armed, patrolling the length and breadth of our land. Visualize a map of, and what we're going to visualize is America. She says Great Britain. We're going to visualize America, and you're going to personally visualize the street outside your house, or you're invited to. And picture these great presences of the light of Christ, I'm going to add in, moving as a vast shadowy form along the coast and backwards and forwards, from north to south and east to west, keeping watch and ward so that nothing alien can move unobserved. Okay, we're going to read several sections. The three rays were the red, the blue, and the purple, and there is an important significance in the color symbolism, especially as the vision formulated spontaneously and the significance of the symbolism was not raised immediately. The red ray is the dynamic, destructive ray of Mars. Those who are familiar with the Tree of Life will remember that the Gubara stands opposite the Gudala, which issues the blue ray of Jupiter. And these two are represented in symbolism as the two kings. The one, Gubara, robed in red, is armed and mailed, riding in a chariot, the sword of justice in his hand. The other, Gudala, robed in blue, sits upon a throne, wisdom in his hand, and he is the king in time of peace, just as the Lord of Gubara is the king in time of war. The Master Jesus is said to be Lord of the Purple Ray. We will read 3 sections and continue in future shows, and you will learn with me over time the contents of this book. How does that sound? This may sound fantastic, but it is only necessary to read the expurgated edition of Mein Kampf to see that the Nazis are fully alive to this, and that the manipulation of the racial subconscious mind is one of the strongest cards they play. I said the same thing before reading this, if you remember. The card can only be trumped by a higher card of the same denomination. Military force is ineffectual against it, and it is here that our specialized knowledge can be of very real use. In earlier letters, we considered the ways in which ideals could be instilled telepathically into the group mind of a race by someone who is a member of that race. This is where I would grab a bell and go ding, 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 and who therefore has access to its group mind, living them out in actual practice with intention. And so, in conclusion, I will pray for you in your spiritual growth and help you with what I know, as we have shared ancestors, at least through the Anglo side. And I ask that you send me loving, protective energy also, spiritual energy and prayers, even if you're not sending emails and donations. We will see you either late tonight with our nightly newscast, just focused on the news, and or back tomorrow morning, likely with a full cup of coffee for a 3-hour podcast. Donations are encouraged. Donations are not rolling in. We would like to see a collective effort of $50 per day, and collectively, all 100 to 150 of you, I believe, can make that happen and can afford it.